Okay, sometimes you got to just, get started. So let's do that. This episode is brought to you by Greyblock Pizza. Greyblock Pizza at 1811 Pico Boulevard. And that's a place you can stop and get Italian. If you're not Italian, you can at least fill your mouth with it. So get in there and get that feeling in Los Angeles off Pico. Also, Bronx Born Pizza, that's up in Bend, Oregon. And that's a sister station to Greyblock. So if you're in one of those two places, get Italian, fill your mouth. This episode is also brought to you by Ridge Wallet. Ridge Wallet, it's a front pocket carry. A lot of times if you might sit on something and you're like, oh, what did I sit on? And it's your wallet. And that's really crazy to just be sitting on your money. Because if you're sitting on your money, it's not at the front. You're not really keeping it in front of you. You got your money on your butt. And I like to have my money out in front of me so I can see what's going on with my dealings. And that's where Ridge Wallet comes in handy. Ridge Wallet, it's a front pocket carry. So you really minimize your stuff. You put it into a Ridge Wallet, put it in that front pocket. Bam, where's your money? It's out in front of me, where it should be. RidgeWallet.com/Theo for a discount. Get in there and get that hit. Also, I want to let you guys know, coming up, I'll be in Oxnard, California, July 6th through the 8th. I'll be in Shanghai, China, July 12th through the 14th. Also, Minneapolis, Chicago, Raleigh, North Carolina, Nashville, and Toronto are some weeks coming up here in the soon time. You can get all those tickets and everything, TheoVon.com/tour, TOUR. Today's guest, I'm so happy to have this beautiful, funny, hilarious, talented leader, matriarch. I don't really know what matriarch means, but it's very important. And this lady is she's many things, and she continues to evolve, but she's definitely she's a seeker and she's a conqueror, and we'll have her tour dates right below. But I'm so happy to have this fire here today, Miss Whitney Cummings.
Well, let's start by telling everyone that I accidentally took 2 Tylenol.
Oh, first of all, I thought you were Snow Whiting on me.
What does that mean?
That's when somebody says they took a couple of sleeping pills and suddenly they don't
and then
they don't come to your
for
graduation.
9 dwarves.
Yeah.
Was it 9 dwarves? I don't even remember how many.
These days, a lot of these dwarves are out of control.
Yeah.
It could easily be 9. I mean, here's the thing: you see a couple of dwarves over there, fucking easily 5 or 6 more show up.
Really? Have
Yeah.
we started? Okay. That's my brand. Are we rolling? Have we started? Is this airing? That's my whole thing. It's just constant.
It is good. That does look good on you.
Confusion around whether machines are on or off. I never know.
It does. You wear that pretty good.
Well, podcasts, you just there's no foreplay. It's just
Right.
you walk in the room and we're rolling. So it's like I want to be, and I took for those of you who haven't heard me, I took 2 Tylenol PM by accident. So this is gonna get weird.
And is that a new thing that women are doing to challenge themselves more? Do you feel like?
What are you talking about? I had a headache and I did it by accident. It's not a new thing that women, or at least this woman,
Right.
mixes up labels.
Okay.
A lot.
Because you seem like the kind of lady who's like, you know what?
Lady?
Yeah.
What's lady?
I mean, I call my 9-year-old niece a lady if she's,
But that's
confident.
little lady.
Right, little lady.
Lady feels a little old lady.
Okay.
You
seem like the kind of
type of bitch.
No, that seems a little bit like we kind of got off the main drag and are on some side streets.
That's right.
Okay. You seem like the kind of smitten kitten that that's like, you know what? I'm such a bad bitch. I'm gonna take half a thing of Benadryl and go to this business meeting. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like me on a Benadryl is about the level people can handle.
Right.
I'm too much when I'm not on some kind of sleeping pill. So maybe this is good. Maybe this is good for my brand.
Do you think you're intense? Do you think what is it that gives you intensity? Is it like a confidence type of thing?
I think it's the opposite. I'm pretty anxious socially. Which I think a lot of people think that maybe I'm a bitch because I'm kind of quiet in social situations and they think I'm judgy or something. I've had a lot of comics actually, like Sarah Tiana, we didn't really talk for the first couple of years when I was at the Comedy Store, and she's like, I thought you were such a bitch. And I was like, no, I was just scared and I'm kind of socially awkward, and so I just keep to myself, and it seems aloof and I think I'm better than people. Yeah. But I'm really just cripplingly nervous in social situations.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not really my strength.
Yeah, because that's what I thought. I was like, man, she's a bitch. She's a bitch that's getting shit done. And
you always thought I was a bitch, really? Really?
I thought you were kind of bitchy, yeah.
Really? Like bitchy? Like
Not
when we-
Eliza level, but I thought that you were like
Oh.
a couple back from there, you know?
Okay. Like, but you and I have known each other for a very long time.
Right, but not well though. Like we've never like been.
I feel like we were cool, like because we used to do like bars together.
Yeah.
Like Westwood Brew Co. If you guys aren't in LA, it's a place on the UCLA campus that they have basically a room that looks like Anne Frank's attic, right next to a karaoke bar.
Really
so you're screaming over like "Wild Thing." It's awful.
Yeah, Wild Thing. Yeah,
it's like nine drunk girls.
And then people are like, yeah, you can hear like the Gestapo in the distance.
Totally,
It's like, dude, wow.
Then you just hear like crying, like college girls like fighting with their boyfriends.
Yeah.
But I feel like
yeah, a lot of Jewish girls crying too, because there's a lot of Jewish girls in that area.
Yeah, and
so it's really full circle there.
I feel like you and I used to like hang out and wait for like 6 hours to go up.
That's
to
true.
go do like 5 minutes in front of 4 drunk people.
And maybe I was intimidated. Maybe I was just like kind of like I think at more of like an intimidated kind of time in my life where I was just like was maybe afraid to talk to girls as much or socialize or be on a comfortable level. So in my head, I had like this other idea.
And I was scared of everybody too because I think I was insecure about. I mean, this was it. There weren't that many female comics like when I started. Like now, there's like a ton, but I felt like
it was like you, Barry Sobel.
Judy Tenuta, Phyllis Diller.
No, there weren't as many.
So I thought in order to be respected by the guys, I had to like kind of be tougher or something, or like I never wanted to get the reputation for flirting with comics or dating comics. So I think I would be like a little more aloof, because that time I was just such a. Like.
Did you feel like a commodity though, like in a way, like, and I just mean it like this, did you feel like a commodity, like in the sense that, okay, here's an attractive, because we'll agree that you're attractive.
Thank you.
Will you agree with
Strong
that?
8. Back then it might have been an 8.4.
Well, let's see.
Before the stress, before the cortisol got to me.
I mean, we'd have to go back in time and ask people back then. But I mean, so yeah, a strong, a funny, confident, attractive lady.
I wasn't confident. I think I came off
as
confident, but I definitely wasn't.
Confident, maybe.
That's right.
Sometimes.
Confident.
How can we not trademark
Can we do that?
Confident?
But like, I feel like I was confident, but
you weren't really.
I wasn't.
It was a perception.
It was like armor.
You were focused though.
I was definitely focused because I want to be good.
And that was the thing that I think seemed intimidating. Like I would see you, like I remember like talking to like Jeff Ross and stuff, and I'm like, oh man.
Really? Well,
but not in a bad way.
I was writing on the roast.
Yeah.
So maybe people just didn't know that I was writing on the roast, so I kind of knew him a little bit.
Right.
But it's interesting. Like, yeah, people thought I was like, super. Everyone's always like, she works so hard, but it was back then like you had to work twice as hard to get a spot as a girl, and like I felt all this pressure that like because there were so few female comics that like I have to be funny because there's already this reputation that women are funny.
Right.
So like I want to nail it for like all women.
Yeah.
Like I put so much, which is now ridiculous.
Wow, that's so
back.
Oksana Bayul.
I know. Is it? Does Oksana Bayul have a branded like
No,
choice?
I think, was she a gymnast?
Is she known for her?
She's a gymnast. I think she landed it though, and people didn't think she was gonna, and she just stuck. Like
But I feel like female ice skaters that are in the Olympics are known for being good at ice skating.
Okay, I'm still thinking of gymnast then. What's some ice skating but off the ice? What is that called? Gymnastics.
It's gymnastics. Yeah.
And who's somebody that just landed one time and they just like that's what I'm picturing. You just and then like
because there was when I started, it was like. When a girl would go on stage, that was like everyone's cue to go to the bathroom.
Right.
Like I used to get, they'd be like,
okay.
No, and the way that you got brought up by then, back then as a woman, people would be like, so are you ready for a lady?
Is that true?
Yes. Are you ready for a female comedian? And everyone would you just hear like rustling and people would just get up and
some
go.
guy would die.
Totally.
Someone would
just
he's
kill
been
himself.
staying alive. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Just drink poison. So it's like, I just felt so totally like refund. Like everyone's just trying to get their money back. So I felt so much pressure to be good. And I think for me, like, see, I'm being too intense. I'm on Tylenol PM, I'm being too intense.
Yeah, I know.
But I thought, back then, like, I also really wanted comics to respect me because I think there was this sort of stigma that I carried that because I had done like a couple like VH1 shows and stuff where people thought that I got too much too fast.
Oh, wow. So I didn't remember any of that.
I really didn't want comics to hate me or think I was getting anything I didn't deserve because like comedy clubs, that's our home. Like, walking into a comedy club and having comics not like you, that's like your worst nightmare. So I just really wanted to like earn everything I got because I do think there was also, there is pressure always on comedy clubs to be like, we have have to put a woman on the lineup. And I never wanted people to think I was getting anything I was getting because I was a girl. And I didn't want to get anything just because I was a girl.
But at the same time, you see, they had this like low key, high key kind of chip inside you that was like, you know, I want to be like a Amelia Earhart in a way. But not
disappear into the ocean.
No, but like,
is that what happened to her?
No, but she's a dude. Imagine this, okay? First of all, this one women couldn't even drive that well, okay? Imagine getting into a plane and fucking taking off and saying you're going around the world. Bro, I don't know what the bets were in Vegas, but every bet was on her not fucking coming back.
But wait, didn't she not come back from one?
She didn't, but still so brave to like. Did you low key have like a little bit of Amelia Earhart? Because you said like you wanted to kind of, you know. I mean, you seem like you always have had some laser focus, because I feel like you just came in like this lightning bolt, and then next thing you know, like you definitely seem like you're always working hard.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I hope 100%, so.
No doubt.
I grew up poor. I know a lot of, like, I didn't have any other option.
Right.
Like, I didn't have a backup plan, and I realized very early on that I have very few skills. I have a very specific set of skills. I'm Liam Neeson. And see, that's what Tylenol PM does. I'm Liam Neeson. Like, I'm just messing up like words I don't say a lot.
Well, no worries. Keep doing this. In a little bit, we're going to do an Aziz Ansari act out in case like we're at the same place and you have to rest, you know?
Was she on Tylenol PM?
She wasn't. So
no,
we can
she's
take that part
22
out.
And she's smarter than I am.
But being 22 is like being on Tylenol PM.
Basically the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it's the Tylenol PM of age. But no, we will do a thing in a little bit where when this Tylenol PM sets in more, where how a man should behave around a woman.
A woman who's intoxicated.
Who wants to rest.
I almost said incarcerated. It's starting to kick in.
And make sure you get one of those right, because the intoxicated role play and the incarcerated role play.
Very different role, different orifices, frankly.
Totally different. Yeah.
Totally different situation.
Totally different.
Different posture, different core engagement level. No, I didn't have any other options. And like I tried to do a couple other things. Like I tried to bartend. I tried to be someone's assistant. And I just realized very quickly, like, I am just not good at anything else. So I was like, if I don't succeed at this, like, I don't have a backup plan. And like,
you seem
I
like
can't
an astronaut.
marry a rich guy. It's just not for me.
Really?
No, I just can't do that.
Because, you just seem like an astronaut, and then you kind of went, you know?
Yeah, but you know me. I mean, I was doing the Comedy Store open mic for like 4 years, showing up at 5 o'clock, waiting for 2 hours to eat shit for 3 minutes. I mean, it's funny when people are like, she like came out of nowhere. I'm like, really? I was doing Rooster T. Feathers in bowling alleys for about 5 years.
I guess I didn't know that.
Really?
You know?
But
yes, and this is just my perception. I mean, this is just my little perception, you know? But yeah, to me, you just always seemed like, just like laser focused, you know? And but I always admired it. I mean, if anything, I was like, fuck, I'm going to, you know.
I feel like also, but as a girl, like going to comedy clubs, like I'm not going to go fuck a bunch of dudes after, you know?
Okay, so how about this?
You get in and you get out. What else am I going to do?
Right. Yeah, well, that's the thing. It always seemed like you were there for the work. That's what it seemed like.
And I was, because like there's nothing for a female comedian in a comedy club after 10:30 when you're done with your set.
Well, now it seems different, because now it's like you have all these, like, it feels like there's a lot of girls who, like, I get texts a lot. And it's like, can I open for you? Can I do this? And those kind of things are fine. And I want to have...
Female comics, you mean?
Right. But sometimes it's a bit more than that, you know? Which is like...
What do you mean?
But or like, here's what I'll say. I think...
Can I open for you, then open for you?
Like, I feel like sometimes there's that vibe there, you know? And sometimes it's even a little bit more poignant than that, right? But did you feel like guys treated you different, though?
I'll never know.
Because guys will always be a little bit, no matter what. If a girl walks up, you know, and she's like dying of thirst in the desert, and she's like, can I have some water? And you're like, part of you's going to be like, can I give it to you out of my dick? You know? Like, that's always going to be...
My cum is half water.
But I mean, not cum, but just if you could get real water out of your dick.
Okay.
But it's like, men are always going to want... or there's always a little bit of that.
Maybe, maybe I think...
Because if you were one of the few women around, then it would be, wow.
And I was really scared of getting a reputation. Because if I would, like, hang out with a guy or open for Bobby Lee or something on the road, people be like, so you fucking Bobby Lee? And I was just like, whoa. Like, so I think I just wanted to really distance myself from any opportunity that people could just assume I was sleeping with comics. I've never dated a comic.
Right.
Ever. You know, and then I did the roast.
What about Dalia, though? Ever date?
Listen, I've never dated.
Probably
Does he
one
say
of the
differently?
best. Huh?
Did he say
No,
different?
how weird is it, though, that I feel like you and Chris are starting to look like the same person?
That is so weird.
Sorry.
Like,
but you have way nicer skin, but
I would like to think I have a better hairline and less facial hair.
I mean, maybe, but something's going on.
Yeah.
And it could be the lighting in here,
It does.
too.
I do. I do think that one town LPM and I'll think I'm Crystalia, so I'm close as well. I get that a little bit. I can see that.
I think for
Maybe
me,
that's
it's
why
also
I
the
cast him,
confidence.
because it's like a narcissistic.
For me, some of it is the confidence too. Both
I
you
love
guys
that
are
you
confident.
think I'm confident. That's so funny. Chris to me is the most confident human being on the planet. I can't wrap my head around that.
Me either.
I'm in therapy and a 12-step program to get his inner monologue, and I'm not even close. I've got like 2 lines. But I don't. I'm really insecure, and maybe just when I'm quiet, I seem like I'm like have it together, or people are projecting. Because
Right.
we always think that people have it more together than they really do, right?
Yes.
And I pretend to have it together on Instagram. We all like project this life that we don't even have. And,
Yeah.
You know, why am I telling you this?
Well, I don't know. I mean, we're just talking about it, but
Yeah.
I think, do you feel like, were you always, because I don't believe that you're not confident though.
You know what? I'm confident in what I know I'm capable of, but I'm not confident with like people and like socializing, like, because
Right.
I don't do small talk. I'm
Right.
not good at it.
Right.
And I like to go straight to big talk. Like I
Right.
like to go straight to like my meds aren't mixing, like, or just, you know,
Right.
my dad just died. Like just being like, how are you? How was your weekend? Like I'm not good
That's
at that.
boring. That's why you and Dalia vibe too. Dalia doesn't fucking
No,
swim in those circles,
no,
dude.
he
He's like, oh,
doesn't.
y'all over here in this ditch, bitch. I'll be out in the fucking ocean.
I'm good climbing out of that. Yeah, I just am not good with like just shooting the shit,
Yeah.
you know? And because I think I have this really, and my boyfriend always makes fun of me about it because it's like it's a deficiency that I can't bullshit, which is I think good probably
Oh,
for
wow.
the people I talk to. But I
Right.
can't be like, that's great. Yeah, I totally, yeah, no, I hear that. Like I just can't bullshit people. I don't
Right.
think it's fair to them. It's a waste of everybody's time. So like my brain just shuts down.
And you know what? I think even in learning this in my own life recently, that works so well for this industry, you know?
Bullshitting.
No, I feel like
Oh.
the few people that do not and
Yeah.
fucking go right for their shit, that's
it's
where
like-
other people with this money who are milling around on the outside, like, where do I put my money on? What horse?
gotta tell
it's
people
the
the
one who's
truth.
like, oh, that's the fucking horse that at least knows exactly what they're doing.
Or if I don't, I'll be honest about it.
Right.
I'm like, you know what? I actually don't know what the best color for the couch is. Let's ask someone who does know.
Right.
Like, I think it's really important to know your limitations, know what you can't do,
Right.
and to tell people the truth. Because in this business, you're asking people to give you a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
And if you're going to go in there and like just tell them everything's great, they're not going to trust you. You know,
Right.
it's like, here's where I think the landmine is. Here's what I don't think we're going to nail. Here's where I think we need help. Like, I think it just, makes people trust you because you're being trustworthy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I just have I have a hard time with that. And I also went through a lot of hard shit. And it was like hard for me to just sit around. People are like, what's up? It's like, oh, my dad died. Like, it's just like the shit that goes down in our lives. It's kind of gets harder and harder to bullshit as you get older.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, I mean, I think I'm confident. Like, I'm working on new material now. Like, I'm not as confident now that I'm working on new material. When I
Right.
have shit that's like polished and I have this hour that's like great, I walk into the comedy store and I'm like, I've got swagger. I'm like, I know this is going to kill. But right now, I'm like trepidatious and it's like you're between Mark Maron and Sebastian and you're just like, oh God, like, so I think a lot of times when I'm at the comedy store now, I'm just like, do I try that new joke or do I eat shit with my new joke or do I kill with an old joke
Right.
that someone might have already seen? And then I get all in my head about it. I think the more I do comedy, the more nervous I get. It's weird.
Oh, that's interesting.
And I don't think
of.
I was confident in my 20s. I think I was just unconscious.
Right, and you're also more you're learning something then.
Yeah.
So there's nerves in that, but there's also there's trepidation because it's trial and error.
Totally. And
Whereas now it's a little more like, okay, I know what I can do.
Yeah.
But now there's maybe a different type of. It's not like you're learning it. It's
Yeah.
just now you're maybe have some real nerves because it's you know what you can do, and then
Yeah.
this is just a new thing.
It's also a landmine. It's like now, like stuff has changed so much since we started. Like there's more comics. Like, I want to see what other comics are doing to make sure I'm not doing anything similar because then there's going to be a YouTube video that you've stolen something or like, you just got to like, I think be more on your game now. Like I don't want to get on stage and get sloppy and say something by accident that's being videotaped and gets taken out of context.
Like this podcast, like on
and then-
2 Town LPM.
What is this? I mean, this is like real dumb. It is. My career is gonna end today on my drive back to the valley. But yeah, I think you just have to be more on point now.
Yeah.
It used to be comedy used to be a little more casual for me, but now it's just sort of like, oh, if that's taken out of context, that I'm, sexist. If that's taken out, it's racist. You just got to be
Right.
like awake.
Well, do you feel? I mean, it's so funny. Like, they had. Like when I hear stories of like I'm sober, like I'm almost 2 years sober,
That's
right?
awesome.
Thanks, I appreciate
That's
it, man.
awesome.
It's interesting. I mean, I would do some
and
fucking.
and
I'd
if
do an
I-
8-ball right now if a
And if I
hot
must
chick
say,
showed up.
like, and I think you know this, but you just like, phoom, I mean,
Yeah.
it was like in the last 2 years when you have that clarity and all the energy, you know, it's like, it is just, I mean, it's weird because 2 years ago, almost like to the day, I started hearing people be like, yo, have you seen Theo's new set? Like, have you seen what Theo's up to? Like, I started hearing about it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? One of the things that made me feel good was one time you said to me, it wasn't even long ago, you're like, yeah, everybody just keeps saying you're so funny. And for some reason, I think even hearing that come from like a woman, I think in a weird way.
Why?
Just made me feel like, because dudes always like are in that thing, but you always feel like, because I think growing up, like I remember when I was in maybe 6th grade, like there was this girl that I was in love with. And I think.
In 6th grade?
Oh, dude.
How old are you in 6th grade?
Honey, I felt
12, 13.
Yeah, 12, 13.
What? That's not love. That's
I was
just like-
80% heart. Dude, look and listen to this. I had a man's dick since I was about 4. So imagine, my dick's
How
been
do
the
you
same
know?
size since I was
How
4.
do you-
They told me.
Who's they?
They told me. People at
Who's
the medical
they?
facility, doctors, everybody.
Medical
Locals,
facility.
Dude,
We get it. You grew up rich. You had a medical facility. Okay. You had health insurance. Cool.
Every sports coach, dude. I remember one sports
Why are
coach
sports
taking a
coaches
picture of
looking
it
at your dicks?
who was not even a pedophile.
You know that's illegal.
But he wasn't a pedophile. It was just
yes,
like.
he was.
No, it was like looking at the nice tires on a truck. It was like, dang.
Okay, so I'm obsessed with when you realize you were molested, like the day you realize.
Dude, no.
We just caught it. Here it is. Hashtag time's up. I'm here. Theo has come forward against his childhood basketball coach who took a picture of his dick. I know the story you're telling yourself.
Right.
It was like a tire on a car. You were molested, Theo.
No, it wasn't.
Is this a bad time
I
to?
was molested by Kodak, dude. I'll tell you this. I bet it took him a couple extra minutes to develop that shot because I was throwing some real heat. But I remember Coach being like, hey,
It wasn't 1 hour.
Daniel.
My dick was so big it wasn't 1 hour photo. It was
Coach
3-day
Daniel,
photo.
Coach Daniel, I need you in here to see this boy's dick, man.
That's illegal,
but
and that's
no.
molestation.
No, it was people that were
Is it
partying.
molestation or molestation?
I mean, molestation.
Why are they saying like, he put
It's
picture
something that
mole
Bill
out?
Murray's going to be in. It's a movie that he's coming in out next year.
Groundhog Day.
Yeah, or it's like, I think somebody touched me. I think somebody touched
Someone
me.
kept fondling my mole. My mole just happens to be on the tip of my dick.
Dude, what a great YouTube fucking sequence this is. Somebody that just sneaks up on people and touches their fucking mole.
Depending on where it is, that can be very legal
dude,
and get you on meganslaw.com. So what else
Or
happened?
Angie's List, which I mix up all the time. Can we change the name of one of them?
Is it Megan or Angie?
Well, here's the thing. You go on fucking, you get into these Megan's Law sites, next thing you know, you're looking for a carpenter. Next thing you know, you're fucking molested, you know?
Wait, you go on Megan's Law looking for a carpenter.
Well, you easily could.
You know what? They would build a children's nursery for you.
I'm just saying there's a lot of things going on out there that people are not looking into.
It's true.
But I remember also, so going back to what we were talking about, I remember being like, you know, in 5th grade or something, and I was in love with this girl, right?
Okay.
In love. Like everything I knew. Like, I mean, I was just sprouting aortas every fucking day thinking about this girl. Like, and just my rib cage is just full of just blood for this woman.
You're such an artist, Theo.
And,
you really are like a spoken word poet.
I don't know.
You are. I mean that. It's
I mean, those people end up fucking usually selling sandwiches out of a fucking van.
No, but you have a very, what's the word? Florid? Is that the word? Florid? Look that up. It's like, you have very like flowery delivery.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I remember the only way I could express to this girl that I liked her was
Florid. Having a red or flushed complexion, elaborately or excessively intricate or complicated. Well, that makes it seem pejorative.
having a red flush complexion. I still probably definitely have 3 milligrams of Cialis in my system from probably a couple days ago. Because I'll pop a 10 milligram just to fucking hit
What
the
does
streets.
Cialis do?
Just makes you feel a little bit of fluff, you know?
No, but I mix up Cialis with like.
They're all the same.
Are they?
Yeah.
All the antidepressants?
Oh, no. I
No.
mean, this is an antidepressant
What does
for
Cialis
sure.
do?
Erection.
Really?
Makes you stout.
Okay. I thought that was Viagra. I
Gives
mixed
you that
these up.
friar tuck. You know what I'm saying,
Right.
bro?
Who?
That bow staff.
Please don't call me bruh.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Young lady.
Okay. Thank you. Very
Not little lady, though.
This is I have a lot of rules.
No.
For someone this sleepy, I have a lot of rules.
But no, this is when women need to have the most rules, ladies. When you're feeling...
I'm about to pass out, and I just want you to know that I have strong boundaries, and I will sue you if you try to penetrate any of my orifices.
Oh, wow.
This is where I really. This is you know the what a Nantucket sleigh ride is. It's when you It's when you kill a whale and it retaliates. That whales and mammals are the strongest right when they're about to die.
Oh, wow.
It's like their final burst of energy, and that's me right now. This is my Nantucket sleigh ride.
Damn, this is
Do not call me lady.
And
I just want to make you as least attracted to me as possible.
I feel like I've always been the same amount attracted to you, kind
Really?
of. Yeah. But I'm going to finish this brief story real quick. So I was in love with this girl. The only way I could express it to her was in my primal ways at this time.
Yeah.
I saved one day, I think it was Valentine's.
Yeah.
I saved all the spit in my mouth one day during class, right? And after class, I ran up behind her and just spit it all right into her hair. And that was like, for me, it was like, this is...
What did you think you were going to accomplish by that?
I just hope that somehow through it, maybe through the genetics of it and all almost like an
genetics of
ocean,
it?
like the ocean that had been going on in my mouth, the ocean of the fucking high and low tide of this saliva, just the little...
The more sober you get, the more on drugs you seem.
Really? That's great.
It's pretty great.
But I think I just wanted... but that's how, like, just nervous...
Was it like a possessive? Because spitting on someone is a very degrading thing. It's going on out there, FYI, out in the streets. There's a lot of spitting in the face happening. Hashtag Tinder. And I feel like it was like you were trying to own her in a way, or just get your genetics onto her lower back.
I think I just thought this was the only way, and I did hair, you know.
You did hair?
I spit into her hair.
Got it. Oh, right.
Yeah, and I'm not. I mean, this is just when I look back on it now. I'm like, this is the only
now,
way.
Now, if you love a woman, you spit on their front side of their head. Yeah. So you weren't that.
Well,
far.
now I'll just lick under their chin.
You were close. Is that a thing?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's.
If a guy did that to me during sex, I would not be able to stop laughing for like 45 minutes.
It's called the Virginia Mud Trail. Have you heard about that? It's
no,
okay.
I thought it was the Nantucket wine tasting.
Yeah, it's different now. That's when you had
a
a great
Nantucket sleigh ride intersects with something licking your face.
Yeah, that's when you eat grapes out from under somebody's arm. I think and that's a Marina Del Rey wine tasting. But no, what were we talking about before I got into that? Why I was talking about feelings?
Well, I have lots of questions about the coaches that took pictures of your dick. Because I'm filing a suit after this, so I'm just trying to collect data because I am your defense attorney.
Bitty basketball, son.
We are going to get
6 and 4 one year.
Millions of dollars.
Go Blazers, baby.
Is
Blazers.
6 and 4 a good score?
It's not that great.
It's not great when your coaches are jerking off to your girth of your dick.
Well, they weren't jerking off. It was admiration. It was like, you ever been to Rome where you go look at the statues and stand there and then you walk away with your wife and go get some pizza? Just like that.
No, you have to pay like $300 to look at all that shit. No, it's not enjoyable at all. I went to Rome and to go see the Sistine Chapel, it was like $800. I was like, fuck art. What
do you mean? You can afford that.
I know, but I mean, even if you have $801, you can technically afford it. That doesn't mean I'm about to write that check.
Right.
You know?
Right.
You see a bunch of shit I've already seen in textbooks for 30 years.
Yeah.
Now that Instagram like makes me, I'm like saw this thing, I really want to go to Greece, and I saw a bunch of photos on Instagram, and I was like, I got it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good.
I get it.
You know, I get it.
But do you seem like you get over things quickly? Like you can kind of like move on to things quickly?
Depends on what it is.
Right.
You know, like a lot of times I'll plan vacations just as a form of procrastination, just to like get myself the dopamine and to just organizing something, just because I want to feel productive, but I don't want to actually do work. And it's because I have such bad perfectionism. I get very, what is it? Perfectionism leads to procrastination, which leads to paralysis in work. So what I'll do if I can't like finish something or write a joke, I'll just start like planning trips and just never follow through with going. I mean, I won't pay for this shit.
But just putting it together and stuff, it's like exciting.
Yeah, it's just a way to, because organizing things and planning things reduces cortisol. So it's like just a good way to kind of get right. And then you sort of like get out of your system. It's like watching porn or something.
Yeah.
You know, it's like my porn. I look at houses and vacation rentals.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I go to Airbnb and just be like, see all these fancy houses, and I'm like, I need to work harder, and then I can go.
What do you set your price range at on Airbnb?
Oh, great question. It depends. If I'm actually staying there, I'll set it like $200 to $300. But if I'm just going to like
$200 to $300,
well, if I have my dogs with me, if I have my
that's what I set it at though. Like I would think you'd set it higher.
It depends. I've only stayed in an Airbnb once. I did ayahuasca in Topanga, so I rented like a place out there, and it was expensive.
Yeah,
it was a lot of money. Yeah.
Did you feel did you feel like that experience was pretty cool? Would you do it again?
I'm glad I did it. I think I will do it again. He didn't give me a ton the first night, but I puked the entire first night. And I think it's
This is
interesting.
what my prom date said after prom. I feel like, sorry, that's
Gave
easy.
me too much. I puked. You know what? It wasn't that
cheap one.
easy. It wasn't that easy. Give yourself a little
But
credit.
that's brave that you did that, though. Why did you do it?
It wasn't that easy to joke that you're a sexual predator
Right.
in this climate.
No, that's true.
Not a lot of people
With
are doing
you,
that
too.
with me, of all people, getting recorded. It's a fucking brazen move
That's
to
true.
make just constant rape jokes
Sure, and this is
after so many people's careers are ending.
no.
Like, I kind of like it because you're just like hiding in plain sight. Like, it's just like, I like the idea that you're just, because like guys right now, I'm obsessed with the guys that have sexually harassed women, but they haven't been called out and they might be a little annoyed because it means that they're not famous enough.
Right.
Like, there's something funny about someone being like, I mean, no one's asked me. Like, what the fuck? I, like, you know, like just because you have to have a hot career right now to kind of go down.
That's true. Yeah, maybe this is such a blessing. You know, that I'm sort of just.
You're right underneath the
Right.
hot zone. You know what I mean? You can still sexually harass people and kind of like get away with it. You can make jokes about it. Like, you're sort of in the money zone right now.
Do you But do you think? Oh shit. what
Oh
was
no,
that?
you were asking me about ayahuasca. I would do it again. The first night, it's interesting because like the first time I did it, I was like, oh, I feel like on some level, because comics, what we do is we overanalyze things, or we see them from like 9 different places, you know, like different facets, or we like, you know, have this oppositional thing where we take the unpopular argument and prove it, like
Right.
why we should, you know. And I felt like ayahuasca a little bit, it was like, oh, I feel like ayahuasca helps people who aren't comedians just think like comedians.
Oh wow.
And then I felt like I just thought like a normal person. It was weird. It actually
Yeah.
turned off a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of stuff that I just realized, like masturbatory thoughts and like the old tapes in our heads and the old stories, they just kind of stopped playing.
Yeah, it's like a spring cleaning almost.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's just deleting some of that static, you know? And then I realized I was like, and then I was just chilling. All I was doing, I was just like, oh, look at his shoes. Like, look at this wall. And I was like, oh, I feel like this is how normal people think. They just think about like one thing at a time. They don't like overanalyze it or have to make a joke about it. It was like 4 hours where I wasn't thinking of jokes.
Right.
You know?
It's like clear and it's kind of peaceful almost.
Yeah, it was just kind of like chill. And then the second night I puked a bunch, but I had a couple little breakthroughs that I feel like I would have come to my own at some point in my life, but this kind of just expedited it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Right, but yeah, it's like it's like, oh shit, this might have taken me 3 years to get through some of this stuff. Especially the old tapes that you don't see. It's like
Yeah,
it becomes
you don't
this
even know
obvious
they're
little
there.
gremlin that's kind of dancing over here.
Yeah, that's
you
right.
know?
And you're so used to it that it doesn't even occur to you
Yeah.
that you need to clean it up.
And finally, you're like, sit the fuck down,
Yeah,
guy.
like I'm good.
Put your
Like,
shirt on and
it's
sit
just,
down.
I need to get the fuck out of here. I
Yeah.
need to stop taking pictures of my dick and walk on. So it was like things
6
like,
and 4, baby.
who got
Baby
6
Blazers.
and who got 4? What, is
No,
the
that
6
was
the
our
loss or the
schedule.
win?
6 is the win. You only do the wins first.
Okay, got 6 and 4. Got it.
Yeah, 6 and 4, baby Blazers, dude. And one of our players had to quit at 12 because he got a woman pregnant, dude.
At 12?
Yeah, and it was a black guy.
A
Some people were
woman or a
thinking it wasn't,
girl?
It was. He got a girl.
How
Who
was she?
They were in love, I guess, but they were children, you know?
Yeah.
She was probably 16.
Because he wasn't trying to get her pregnant by spitting on the back of her neck. He did it the right way. He knew how to
Look,
get it done.
I'm glad the birds and the beestalk that I got came from a hairdresser. That's the one thing I'm happy about because I could not have just, who knows
Did you
what
get
would have
suspended
happened.
for that?
You know what I did, yeah.
I'm trying to think of what I would do if a guy spit on the back of my head.
But what if years later you found out that the thing was that the guy just was so in love with you
I
and
know,
you
but
just had
that's
nobody
always
to express
guys'
it?
thing. It's like, oh, but I did it because I loved you. It's like, yeah, but I'm bleeding. That's just not true. Like,
Yeah, but I'm in this dumpster and I'm, yeah.
What are you talking about? And your girlfriend's pregnant. Like, you don't love me. Like, that's just not even true.
That's like that rapper, X Tenacious. Do you see this guy that died, but he
That's
like
awful.
abused his pregnant girlfriend? It's like,
How did he die? He got shot?
I think he got shot. Probably by the
Oy.
baby. Hopefully stuck an
We can't
arm
talk
out with a
about
gun
this.
in it.
Oh,
We don't have to.
gosh. That's a lot.
Yeah,
That's a lot to process.
it's a lot to process. But yeah, that was it. So like, I don't know how we got into this in the beginning.
We got into this because I was talking about ayahuasca. I was talking about Airbnb. How did we get here?
But before that, we got into something. Nick, do you know? We on top? It's okay.
Oh, thanks, Nick.
There's
Nick just
a
keeps
lot.
looking at me with a very perplexed, like kind of shocked, but also concerned look.
Oh, I just got a lot going on.
Okay, got it. Copy that. Are you dating anybody?
I've been dating you.
I've never met anyone you've dated. I've never seen you like dating anyone, I don't think.
Yeah,
Have
that's
I?
the thing I do. I don't bring any of that like around.
But I think that when you're mysterious, especially especially like in comedy clubs, people project onto you what makes them feel more secure.
Right.
So it's like, I haven't seen you with the girls, so I'm like, oh, Theo must be like a player, or he must be aloof, or you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah,
you fill
people
in
think
the
he might be
blanks.
gay, he might be this, he might be aloof,
I don't think you're gay.
Yeah, I don't
Unless
think
you
I'm
are.
gay. I'm not.
If you think you are, I'm going to disagree with you on that. I'm going to fight you on that. Because you are not.
No.
Don't you try to come out right now. I will.
No, I'm not coming out right now, dude.
Yeah.
Especially not next to this beautiful
Do
painting.
people think you're gay?
No, I don't
Okay,
think so.
I don't think so.
I mean, dudes try to a lot at night, you know?
What?
They'll be like, oh, you might be gay, you know?
To try to have sex with you?
I think to try and make moves. Like, I mean, I think there's like a gay guys are always trying to get the straight guy.
Really?
I think so.
Oh, interesting.
You know? Yeah, it's like, yeah.
That's a compliment, probably. Is
Yeah,
that flattering?
it's a little unflattering sometimes when guys are like I'll get a lot of dick pics in my DMs and shit. And it's like, this is
Really?
fucking gross, dude. Yeah. Like, can
Sorry
I call
about-
those guys out? Can I call those guys? Because it's kind of fucked up.
By name? Maybe don't do by name.
But I mean, or like,
What's so upsetting about it?
just that it's gross.
Why? You think dicks are gross?
No, I love this. No, I don't think they're gross. Like, if your fucking coach and assistant coach, Mr. Danny, admire them and fucking think
6
they're
and
cool.
4, baby Blazers.
Hey, dude, baby Blazers. Look, bro.
That's, by the way, that's also what they called your dick, baby Blazers. FYI.
Dude, I remember people would cheer for my dick from the stands. Like, Jesus.
No, they wouldn't.
Well,
None
it
of
looked like a
that's
couple
true.
ladies were looking one time.
That's not
you know,
true.
because they were pointing.
You don't remember anything at this stage in your life. I refuse to believe any of
I
this
remember
is
my
true.
Amistad. I remember carrying around a heavy dick for fucking 11 years, dude.
You call
Give
your
us
dick-
free! I remember my fucking Amistad, dude. Because imagine having an adult's dick now. Imagine having tits at fucking 5. Them bags. Imagine having those big, beautiful,
bags.
feminine
You know,
adult
I don't like
breasts.
that term.
I don't like it either. And Nick, I think,
I don't like
tweeted
bags
it to
because
me.
it doesn't imply what the bag is full of. When I think of a bag, I think of a bag of shit on a door that is caught on
You're right.
fire. The title on PM just kicked in. Did you hear it? It was like, but I just puked. No, but like a bag, I think of like alcohol in a bag or like shit on someone's
Yeah, you're right.
doorstep.
Those big, beautiful Life Alert bracelets. How about that? That kind of thing.
What shape is my?
That's true. Okay.
Wouldn't those be like little triangles or like little sad?
Yeah, that's true, you're right.
saggy.
I'm going to quit. I'm going to stop.
I don't
with
want bags. Bags I don't love.
I don't want bags. What I like is these hemispheres.
Okay.
These hemispheres to the original realm,
Okay. Yeah, perfect.
kind of.
Perfect.
Because it's like right before you leave your mother, you need that last sip off your mom, you know, and so that's what breasts are.
It's
But anyway,
baby.
imagine being 5 and having breasts. Suddenly you're at the playground and you're the girl with big, you know, with
So you're saying your dick was so big when you
it
were
was
5.
the same dick. The same dick
So
I've
you
had.
grew an adult dick as a kid.
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember
Or what
it,
if
dude.
you just have
I
an
remember
adult
seeing-
dick and a kid body now? Wait a second. I'm trying to figure. I remember like that shit confuses me. Do you remember the show Everybody Hates Chris? That Chris Rock show where like he played a kid?
Yeah,
I knew someone that wrote on that show. Like this is how like I'm like real ditzy about like some things. Like
Mm-hmm.
people tend to think people are always really surprised at how dumb. Like I can't open like a door with a key. Like I can't figure out the way the key. Like I'm really ditzy about some shit. And one time I was talking to this guy that wrote on Everybody Hates Chris, and he's like, "Well, we're gonna have to stop the show because the kid is growing up." And I was like, "No, you don't. Just make everything around him huge.
Right.
Like just give him like a big mug and like." And then I thought I like saved the show. I thought I like cracked it. I was like, "Bam! Get your set designers, make everything giant. Like make the couches so he looks like a kid." And they were like, "You're a fucking idiot." Like I can be real dumb about shit like
You're like,
that.
that's a $2 million
I was like,
idiot
"Where's
job."
my Venmo? Now what? I just fucking nailed it, saved ya. Everyone's still got a job. 6 and 4.
Because the inner monologue would change, right?
What?
Of Chris, of the kid.
Well, no, I just visually thought he could still look like a kid. Like if you put him in a big chair, he's just gonna look like a kid. Like give him a big ass like Coca-Cola.
He has a whole family.
Yeah. So like trying to figure out the size of your dick to your body. I'm not the person to ask about this. I have a blind spot.
Oh, I remember people. I mean, it was just crazy. It
Well,
was
why
like,
would you be on Cialis? Do you talk about this stuff on here? I think you kind of do.
yeah. I mean, I take it like sometimes I'll take it if I need to feel a little bit of because, dude, in I don't get good erections in LA, man.
What does that mean? What?
It's just
The
there's so
weather?
this city's so intense. It's just like there's always this fucking buzzing that makes me feel so nervous.
Don't you have noise canceling headphones?
Yeah, but I need. It's just like it goes into my core here.
Wait,
but
this
dude,
is
second my plane lands in another place, man.
No, but that's a
Dick
thing.
City.
Guys, from what I understand, guys get erections when they land in new cities. It's like a primal thing. Like I'm in a new place, I need to impregnate
And airplanes. Airplanes give every dude an erection.
Why?
Ladies, if you want to fuck a guy and you just met him, in a
No
seat
one wants
next to
that. You don't need to give this advice.
Dude,
no one wants this advice. If you want to fuck a stranger, I have great advice. No one wants that. And if that's what they want, they're not listening to your podcast.
Okay,
they're in an alley. So just we can move on to the next topic.
Okay.
I'm not letting
erections. Erections are basically the original Viagra, but they can only accompany 140 people at a time, and it costs $360 to get it up. It was erection. An airplane. An airplane will give any man an erection.
Really?
There's something about it, dude.
There is nothing less arousing to me than being on a tube full of farts for 4 hours.
Oh, I agree.
How is that arousing to anybody? The idea of having, and after getting on a plane, the idea of anyone procreating with anyone, because you realize our population crisis is out of fucking control when you get on a plane. I'm
yeah.
I'm not fucking anyone ever. I'm tying my tubes.
Yeah.
As a society, we fuck way too much. That's my takeaway from planes.
Really?
Yes.
Mine is I get so erect, dude, and dude, one lady woke me up and called me out, had an erection, told the flight attendant
That you had an erection. Well,
Yes.
sexual assault on planes is going up, I just read.
I was asleep and the erection wasn't for her, This lady called me up, her husband's sitting there like a straight muppet. I'm like, this ain't for you, lady. Like, I was dead asleep. You're saying that my natural biological process.
Happened? And then what happened?
She had the attendant come over.
Yeah.
And the attendant's trying to stay out of a lawsuit.
Yeah.
So trying not to say anything. The lady's husband, I'm looking at the dude like, really? Like this fucking meatball wife of yours?
So wait a second. Is this a common thing that guys get erections on airplanes? I don't think I've ever had that happen before.
Nick's in here. Nick, do you? Airplane boner.
Yeah.
I don't get a lot of land dick these days, dude.
What's land dick?
Like when you get erect on the land, So I'm more airtime erection. So sometimes I'll pop that Cialis, dude, just to feel a little bit of.
How long does that last?
Oh, it can last 3 or 4 days, kind of in a mild tone.
An erection?
No, not the erection, just that little fervor.
What does it do? Serotonin? It increases the serotonin in your brain? Is that what Cialis does? Do you know what it's doing to you neurologically?
No.
Okay. Maybe you should find that out.
Yeah.
Can we look up what Cialis does? Because if it's for erections, I think I know what it does. But you want to know what's going on in your brain,
It makes you feel erect, but it makes you erect sometimes, but it also just makes you feel like you ever heard that song, We Got the Beat, We Got the Beat?
What do you think? I'm a fucking Amish?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know where that song's from.
of course I know that song.
I think it's a Russian hit.
No, it's not.
It sounds like it has.
We got the beat. We got the.
the-
Do you have
Yo.
to pay for that if we sing it?
I don't
It's
know.
not like that on podcasts.
But it makes you feel like that's kind of playing in the background of your dick. Like you got the opportunity to have an erection at
So
some
when
point.
you hear noise like distractions in LA, you can't get as good an erection if you're distracted.
I just can't feel comfortable in Los Angeles. That's my problem.
Yeah, I get that.
When
Where
I
do you
get
live?
somewhere else, I live in Westwood, right?
Okay, yeah. Fancy.
But it's just like,
Is it the fact that we are always on pavement that reduces our ability to align with the electricity from the earth? You
sure.
You gotta start grounding. So go stand barefoot on dirt
Mm-hmm.
every day for 30 minutes. See if your dick gets any better.
and it might, because that's most of my childhood, and I was fully dick.
I was gonna say, yeah, see it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. We're not barefoot enough because we have pavement and the soles of our shoes.
Yeah.
And so something about the electrons in our body. I'm gonna get this wrong. Please Google it because I'm gonna fuck it up. But so if you're sick or anything, and apparently that is connected to a lot of why there's so many illnesses because we're never barefoot.
I could see that easily.
Yeah.
That's why people by the beach always seem healthy, and they
Yeah.
Yeah. I have this though. What about
Earthing
this?
and grounding, I think it's
Yeah. I need to do earthing and grounding,
Yeah.
I think. What about
Should I
this?
be being funnier? I just got insecure.
On this?
Yeah.
No, our podcast isn't even a funny podcast.
Okay, got it. Thank God. So I feel like I'm doing okay. Because
it really isn't. I'm not even joking.
Because here's what happened. It's like comics, like you work so hard to be funny. Now everyone has a podcast, and it's like now just don't be funny during the day,
Right.
For 2 hours. It's like I just figured out how to be funny, and now I can't. I'm
Right.
just bomb for 2 hours.
No, I don't think. I don't feel like in here we try to be funny. Do you feel like it, Nick? It's not really funny in here sometimes.
Really?
It just comes naturally out of
Okay.
real deep conversation.
Because I never know what I'm supposed to be doing in podcasts. I truly don't know.
Well, I guess, there's some things I was thinking about. Like, for one, I was thinking about, well, what about this? So say if a man takes some Cialis or Levitra or something, and I don't know, Levitra might
What's
be for
Levitra
something else.
do?
I think it makes your shoulders less slopey. I don't even know what it does.
That's Has someone already done a joke that that's the name of a? Yeah, I'm not gonna do it.
But so say this: a
Okay.
man takes that, he goes on a date,
Okay.
you know, and say he and the woman have been texting about sex and stuff
Yeah,
like that, and they're
okay.
thinking about doing sex.
Okay, doing the sex.
Now the
Yeah.
date ends, right? They go their separate ways.
Yeah.
Maybe they split a bad fucking dessert, and you know what I'm saying.
Why do I feel like this isn't Maggiano's?
It's definitely good, dude.
Where were you picturing?
I
That's
don't
right.
know, dude.
Why did
but I
that?
told Crystalia that he looks like every angry waiter at a macaroni grill, and he fucking died laughing, even though he'd never been to macaroni grill. And that's the power of
Oh, that's
Crystalia.
fucking
He just
amazing.
knows when something is fucking
Yeah,
accurate.
like he just get. Well, I think
Yes.
the key is the more specific, the funnier. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so fucking specific.
But I remember, like, and yeah, say the date goes awry, right? Like she has
Okay.
something happens, and you are on Cialis.
Okay.
You're out and about.
Yeah.
You are gonna feel more motivated for sex. If something then happens, say
Yeah.
that someone does that and they sexually assault a woman, are these drug companies
Yes.
liable?
Oh no. No, because that's like saying guys that drink whiskey and rape someone, it's the whiskey's fault. No, it's the
Okay.
human's fault. You still make choices.
Right.
You're still making a conscious choice with your prefrontal cortex. That doesn't shut down your prefrontal cortex.
Right.
You're still making that decision.
Right.
Like Roseanne's tweet was not Ambien's fault.
Right.
Like I've taken Ambien fucking every day for my entire life. And
I
I've
mean,
never-
she's on 2 Tylenol PMs to get through
I
the
know,
afternoon.
and right, yeah, like totally. This is just my baseline. So
Was
it's like,
she-
although, by the way, if I suck in this, it is the Tylenol PM's fault, to be very fair.
We're gonna put a disclaimer
Yeah,
on the bottom the
please.
whole time.
But everybody else, not the case. Yeah, it's like you can't blame alcohol. It's like if people don't get off on a DUI just
Right.
because, you don't sue Zima for a DUI.
Right. So, but like,
I love the fact that you just blew past Zima. You were just like, Zima, like,
oh, dude, Zima, I think should make a comeback, dude.
no, I think so too. I'm obsessed with Zima. That was my shit.
It was so
Yeah.
easy. Now that's another thing. Get an erection on Zima. You know what I'm
Is
saying?
that with Zima? I feel like Zima's the opposite.
Oh, if I heard a Zima twist off in the distance, my fucking neck got longer.
Just heard that zink. It's like a Pavlovian response.
I can't believe.
That Mike's Hard lemonade. You put the hard in Mike's Hard. Okay. Sorry, guys. I have to keep drinking coffee so that this Tylenol PM doesn't win. This shit is owning my neurology right now.
Somebody's gonna find her in one of the hallways around here later on
God damn
today.
it. Like, I am so stoned out of my mind that I think TJ. See, I'm calling you TJ.
Well, it's because we were just talking about rape culture and just talking about TJ Miller.
no, that's not what happened. Do you think that's what happened in my brain?
It could have been.
No. Were we talking about rape culture? Kind of.
No, I mean, I feel like sometimes I feel like if a woman's around in LA, you're always talking about it.
Is that true?
I feel like it a little bit, especially like. I feel like a lot of, to me, it seems like a lot of women feel like, especially celebrity women, like they have to be on some of these boats or they're going to lose their audience, or
Oh,
there's
really?
a fear of that, I don't know if you seem like it as much because you also seem to do, like you seem to do like your own thing. And this is obviously my perception. And what the fuck do I know,
Okay. Give me.
But yeah, you seem to do your own thing a little bit more. But I feel like there's like a lot of things, a lot of times that women feel like they have to jump on the bandwagon to continue to be relevant, and maybe that's just an LA thing in general.
I don't know. I mean, I just think in general, like right now, I think a lot of people are so desperate to speak and so desperate to be heard. And we're comics. We have an outlet. We get to go up every night and like be seen and heard. And I think a lot of people that don't, like, social media is all they really have.
Oh, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about it
So
from
it's
that
like
angle.
I don't feel the need to like populate my social media with all my political beliefs because I get to go on stage and do it or like make a special or something.
Right.
I get to put it in TV shows. Like there's ways I can get it out.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's a good point. I never thought about that as like, oh, well, you get to be a voice for, for sometimes for people who don't really have one, maybe. Do you feel like that sometimes?
I definitely used to feel a lot more pressure to like be a role model or something, but that's me taking myself too seriously. That's just like such a narcissistic thought,
And what created that? Do you think you had that before you got in the industry?
I think it was when
being
there were
in the industry?
when there were less female comics. I think I put pressure on myself, to be like, all right, like, don't look too sexy, but also still be feminine. So women feel like they can have permission to be feminine, but don't become like a guy's comic and like come off really strong and don't admit too many insecurities so that girls don't think you're insecure.
Wow.
And then I was like, but being vulnerable enough to where they feel like they can be vulnerable and so powerful. Like I just was like so in my head about all that shit. And then I was like, you're never going to please anybody. Like everyone, like we're just at a time where it's just like, it's such a fucking mob mentality and everyone's got a comment, everyone's got a problem. Like, I posted something, my dad died last year And
How dare he?
I know, fucking selfish. Which, by the way, I just got an email from him. You know, Mailer Damon? Is that what it's called?
No, you got a
I
return
got a bounce
email?
back like 2 months ago, and I was like, my dad is still rejecting me from the grave. Like, this is fucking. But anyway, so I did this
Lawsuit. First of all,
I mean, I
way
am
lawsuit
suing
against whoever that server
dirt.
is.
I know, right? And then it's Father's Day. So on Mother's Day and Father's Day, I posted something that was kind of serious. That's just like, because it can be hard for people that don't have fathers or mothers who, or like women who can't have kids. Mother's Day is a little bit like social media now. You're just like constantly being bombarded by things that can make you feel bad about yourself or compare yourself to other people. And like, so I did this thing that was just like, Happy Father's Day to all the people that don't have fathers or who don't have good relationships with their fathers. That can be tricky and like whatever. And like a lot of people were just really appreciative. But then there's people like, you're a cunt. Fuck you. It's like, my dad's, is this the post to yell at me? Is this the, I literally am like, my dad's dead. Just want to send love to all of you who have a dead dad. Fucking you're old. Like, just what? Why'd you get a facelift? I'm like, Jesus. Like, I'm just over here crying. Like, just wait till Monday.
Yeah.
Like, what? Just like, can you wait 7 hours to insult my looks? Do you mind? Can I just grieve my father's death for 8 hours? Like, crazy. So yeah, everyone's gonna. You can't please everybody anyway.
So, but some of this has to come to a head where we quit trying to like.
getting sweaty,
If
look.
anybody, oh please, it kind of turns me on a little bit.
Really? Why?
I think it's just that Cialis still kind of in
Do
me.
you guys
I'm down to
see
2
that?
milligrams,
That's
but
bad.
still. God,
This is like-
do both of them at the same time.
This
please.
is bumming me out because this is my shirt. My like, do you have a shirt
God,
that's
I
like?
feel like I'm on an airplane right now suddenly, dude.
You feel trapped by
Oh
me.
no, I just feel erect.
No, but like, do you have like a shirt, a meeting shirt? Like, this is my podcast shirt.
Yeah, it's
like
good.
this is my go-to shirt. It's like not trying too hard, but still kind of trying.
Yeah.
But I always sweat through it.
I like it. Well, I think a lot of seeing women sweat, I think, is a little bit sexy. You know?
Really?
Yeah. I don't like women's deodorant. Like, but because after a while, I think
Yeah.
people smell kind of.
I did one time. I did like I only wear because deodorant is carcinogenic if it has
Yeah.
aluminum in it, and
Yeah.
there's the link between breast cancer. So I try to just do natural deodorant, but when I'm in a new relationship, I'll go back to the secret. You know what I mean?
yeah.
My dirty little secret. And one time I was with my boyfriend and I had put deodorant on, and he I guess licked or his mouth was
Yeah.
on something, and then I kind of opened my eyes and I just saw him go.
Yeah.
I was like, you know, when you get deodorant in your mouth, like it's such an unmistakable consistency.
Oh, definitely, dude.
Because it like part of your tongue like goes numb.
Oh, that's called a. Oh, dude, that's called the.
That's not called.
I think it's called a Hartford back alley. Yeah. That's out of Connecticut. That's that Hartford back alley. When you actually lick a girl's armpit and get deodorant in your mouth. You know.
And like, you know how it's like gets real dry.
Oh yeah.
Like on your tongue.
Oh, because it's an antiperspirant, so it takes all the fucking moisture out of your tongue.
All of a sudden you just got that like sandpaper on the tip of your tongue. And I saw him because I remember he did it, and I like squinted just to look over to see what he was doing. He was like.
My buddy used to do that when his grandmother would be too loud. He put a little bit of deodorant on her tongue.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did have her quiet down a little bit, and she didn't mind it. I don't think because a little bit of attention. But one thing I want to say is this. So when the Roseanne thing quit, you quit the show before that though.
I quit the show much before, yeah.
Because I remember seeing you at the Improv, and you were like, it felt like something was weird. Was something weird over there? You didn't like it?
Well, I only planned on doing one season of Roseanne. I always planned on doing one season. Did you watch the show growing up?
100%.
Roseanne, yeah,
it was our show.
I loved it growing up. It was such a big deal for me. Like, I grew up poor, and like I was watching 90210 and Melrose Place and just feeling bad
And
about
Rescue
myself.
911, dude.
I know. I would watch A Current Affair. That was my shit. But no, what's Rescue 911 is just like
It was William Shatner, dude.
Oh yeah.
Because people always called 911 and the police in our neighborhood, so it'd be like, oh,
Remember
fuck,
that?
maybe
Oh
we'll
yeah,
be on
he
here.
would. Oh yeah, that was the show where like you would see a neighborhood and then you see him like walk into frame.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He'd just be like, "Hey everybody." I remember that shit now. And no, so I loved the show growing up, and when they were talking about it coming back, it was like right after Trump had become president, and I
Right.
was everyone I think was super like overwhelmed by that, and like
Right.
you know, I was trying to figure out a way to help. I think as a woman, him being the president is very challenging. It's
Right.
It's triggering, and hard and stressful, and I think I just want to kind of figure out why, because everyone was like, Trump voters are stupid. And like that's
Yeah, I
not-
hate that kind of
I
stuff.
don't like that
It's
shit.
not helpful.
It's not helpful. It just makes it more Redskins versus Cowboys. It's not a mature argument. It's not sophisticated. It's also not true.
Yeah.
And then I found out a lot of white women voted for Trump, and I was confounded by that. And I usually like to do projects that have a question that I don't know the answer to, because
Right.
then I'm going to be able to learn something.
Oh, I like this.
I'm motivated. You know, it's
Yeah.
just sort of like. And then I was like, what a great way to like use like contribute. I knew people that were like, trying to raise money for Planned Parenthood and make cupcakes. I can't do that type of shit. That's not my jam. And I was like, maybe this could be a great way to start a conversation, help with this national healing process, because there's going to be people with different points of view. I had these like really like noble intentions, which, ended up being a fool's errand. And Wanda Sykes was working on it, and Norm Macdonald, and, Morgan Murphy, and like all these great people in the room. So, and Roseanne was always so progressive back in the day. Remember?
Right.
There was that, the Jackie domestic violence episode when Fisher hit her.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the black girl in the school play? DJ wouldn't kiss the black girl in the school play, and she admonished him for that with this like triumphant monologue about how black people are just as good as we are. And like, it was always so, she was so pro-woman, so pro-gay, like, so I was really interested in the fact that she just voted for Trump 20 years later. And I had a lot of family members that voted for Trump or support him that were always so cool before. So I'm just kind of,
But I have like, when you say that, I have tons of friends who are all the things you say, like pro-black, pro-gay, all those things, but also voted for Trump.
Well, Roseanne's point, not that I think we should really take any of her points to be valid given what we've seen, but like the reason I think I was comfortable working on it, because I sat down with her and I was like, I need to know why you voted for Trump. And not that this is necessarily true. It seems like, she's kind of off the grid at this point mentally, but like she said, she was like, well, I was a Bernie supporter.
Yeah, that's what I was too.
She was Bernie or bust.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's interesting. So you're crazy liberal, but then you vote for Trump. Like that's, so she wasn't like Trump from the beginning.
No, I wish Bernie and Trump would have ran on the same ticket, honestly.
Interesting. And then, well, that's like a fucking mind meld.
But it would have been too, and I think a lot of people felt that way.
Really?
And that's the thing. I think that's where the
they
disconnect
have nothing
is.
And they could never.
Right, but that's where you're going to get like two real people having to see other people's sides of things
like
that are going to help.
Bernie for vice president? Well, he has no power.
Or Trump for vice president, and then Bernie for president.
I don't think Trump would ever be vice anything.
Right. And he might not. He's an egomaniac, right?
Yeah.
But I think they're all egomaniacs. But so what did she say?
Oh, so then she said, and I was like, but he's racist and like sexist and all these things. And she was like, totally, the things he says are crazy.
Right.
But jobs is really what fixes racism and sexism. Give them money.
Right.
Help them elevate. And I was like, all right, you're wrong. And he's gonna, I mean, there's some truth to that, but it's like, he's not going to follow through with any of these promises, but I guess your motive makes sense. She's like always been so honest. She's always been so lovely. She was actually really lovely during production. She was so
I'm sure.
She was so grateful to be there.
She's one of the best.
I also didn't follow her on Twitter, which makes me a fucking idiot. I hadn't seen like the past tweets that were sketchy, but she would like take them down and then she'd put them up and then take them down. So it was like, okay, this is all about the greater good, and this show is going to be so healing. And then it came out, and when Trump called her, and we made a very balanced show that is not pro-Trump at all. It really kind of like explored the circumstances that led to him being president.
Right.
We never named him. We actually like made fun of him quite a bit. It was not a pro-Trump show. So when he called her and was like taking credit for it, it was like, dude, you didn't see it, homie. Like, And so, but then I was like, you know what? I'm good. This is, I don't really want to run other people's shows. I just want to kind of be a part of this. And then it
was stressful there?
It was stressful because I think it was very hard for me to write like for someone I didn't agree with, but there were so many other characters on the show. So when it came to Roseanne, I was having a hard time separating Roseanne Connor and Roseanne Barr. That was my biggest struggle. And Roseanne Connor 20 years ago and Roseanne Connor now.
Right.
So it was kind of like, okay, so if Roseanne believes this, that doesn't mean Roseanne Connor believes this, and because Roseanne's rich and she lives in Hawaii.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but Roseanne Connor has $400 and lives in Lanford. So, that was the hardest part about it. And there was a ton of pressure, I think, on it because it was so highly anticipated.
Right.
And John Goodman and Laurie Metcalf are, you just want to fucking nail it for them because they're just such legends.
The best, yeah.
And there was a lot of fighting in the room, which is good. That's what a writer's room is.
Yeah, it felt kind of this year. A lot of stuff felt forced. Like I just watched the first 2 episodes, but a lot of stuff felt like a little bit forced to me. But that, I guess.
But first episode back after 20 years, we had to force a ton of stuff
to get it
in.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what TV is. It's forcing people to show up and say the things you wrote for them.
Did you, I remember when the intro music started, I was just like, it took me like, it was almost like Narnia. It was like walking through the back of the closet and like so nostalgic.
Crazy.
Did you feel, how did you feel once the show, when it went away? Were you surprised?
No, it's interesting because I think for me, like the goal of all of us working there was to do this thing where we were going to, granted, maybe like we're narcissists for thinking that we could have an impact like this, but it's like we wanted to contribute to like the country healing and like it like.
But half the country isn't hurt.
But here's what I'll say. it's like liberals and conservatives, however you define it, whatever, like the one thing they could agree on is we like the show Roseanne.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like when I would go around the
Right.
country and be like, Roseanne, people will go crazy in the audience. Like I that is the one thing I feel like, and like porn.
Right.
There's the one thing.
Porn first, too.
You know, so it's like people watching Fox News or John Oliver, Fox News or Samantha Bee.
If
Fox,
you could put Lanford, Illinois in a woman's butthole out there, you could blow the whole internet up.
I mean, it kind of is a butthole. Have you been there? And by the way, Lanford's not even a real place, so I can say that. It is based on Elgin, Illinois, I think.
Is it really?
Where Elgin watches were made. Yeah, but the company is closed. I know a lot about Elgin.
I haven't been there. I love Illinois, though, and I'll be in Stark County, Illinois on June 29th for a fundraiser.
Yeah, and I'll be in Chicago, outside of Chicago, Illinois, in August.
Will you?
I will up that plug.
Oh, you're at the Improv?
Yeah, I'm doing, that one outside of
Yeah,
Chicago.
it's big. It's a nice room.
Schaumburg, is
Yeah,
it called?
Schaumburg.
Because I'm working on my new special, and I need to go do an hour, like, places.
That's awesome. Yeah, and we'll put your dates, too, at the front, too.
But yeah, so it was definitely like, I don't know, I think we all wanted this to be a part of like the healing process or some kind of like cool statement or something. And then I think that maybe, although it's not the package I was hoping it would come in, the win was that Channing Dungey at ABC, this awesome black woman, canceled the racist white woman. Maybe
Right.
that's what needed to happen,
Right.
So it's not how I thought it was going to go down, but maybe that's ultimately the best outcome.
Yeah. Do you feel like Roseanne's a racist?
I mean, yes.
I mean, Twitter is dangerous. Twitter's dangerous for senior citizens. And first of all, I don't even know anybody who's fucking on Twitter anymore.
Like,
Twitter
here's
is a cesshole. Anybody who comments or replies on Twitter, it takes people. It's all fucking losers that sit at home and do nothing. That's what I find.
And here's what I'll say, it's so weird when you just said that, because there was a moment where I was like, Roseanne, because I cannot wrap my head around the fact that Roseanne is racist. Like, it's still so crazy to me, because growing up with her, the two best friends on the show, Chuck and Anne Marie, were black.
That's what
they are black. They haven't changed.
Right. So is she racist, or does she just say a tweet that somebody who's 65 years old on Twitter might say?
I don't know. I don't think we can qualify and defend, because we will never know the answer.
Right.
The reality is you have to take responsibility for your behavior. If you send a racist tweet, you're racist. It's kind of if you rape a girl, you're a rapist.
If you rape a girl, you're a rapist. If you say something on Twitter, are you a racist?
But it's not just that. There were other things.
Right. Oh yeah, I think if you look at her whole thing, she looks for some type of controversy.
And then look, I think that if that was the first tweet she had ever sent,
right, 100%.
We might be like, oh, maybe she's never used Twitter. Maybe she but that is.
It's so irresponsible.
It's actually what she did was slightly above the N-word, actually.
Yeah.
It was just sort of because I mean, it's just, I'm still shocked, as you can tell about it. Even on Tylenol PM, I'm getting adrenalized and freaked out. But it was when we went back and looked, there was years of
oh yeah, if you go back
really
and look, it's what's going on here?
Because it's also, here's what I'll say. Thinking it, that's your business. I don't necessarily agree with you, but deciding to put it out there, that's a different level. And you voted for Trump. It's just, there's so much other ancillary evidence that if she had voted for Hillary and had never tweeted it, we might all go maybe this is maybe we should figure out what happened here. And she's Roseanne, and she was always so progressive, but it was just there was just too much. There was too big of a case against her for me to be no, she made a mistake.
Right. Do you feel,
fuck you.
Right.
200 people are out of a job.
Right. Do you feel like ABC, but ABC also, it's should they, was it ABC?
ABC.
Should they have been letting, shouldn't there have been something in the contract? No, Roseanne's not allowed to tweet?
Yeah, but she had 200 followers at the time. No one was thinking about it.
I see.
She wasn't
She could have started up in the middle of the night.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It was as the show, no one was prepared for this, and no one ever thought this would happen, because who would be so crazy to do that? And Roseanne is smart.
Yeah.
She is smart.
Oh,
and,
I'm sure.
You know what I mean?
She navigated an industry at a time when it was...
Well, I think that if I'm going to be honest, that is what a lot of, the people on the show were concerned, because she was so silenced for so long, and she had created this show and she wanted to do certain things, and they were like, easy, honey, we'll write the scripts. And she was minimized, and she was denied creatively, and she had to fight tooth and nail for so long that by the time, it was time for her to come back, and people have decided women are funny and can star in TV shows and have creative autonomy, I think a lot of the producers were we don't want her to feel like she's being silenced again, because that didn't go so well the first time. So I think it was everybody's way of making her feel like she's being seen and heard, and not having her First Amendment rights taken away or being silenced creatively or whatever. But I had to talk with her, because some of the tweets were, she was retweeting fake news stuff, and I had a talk with her in the beginning, and I was like, "What's up? What's going on? Why are you on Twitter? What are you doing?" And she was like, "Oh no, I retweet that because I think it's crazy." And I'm like, "Well, if you're gonna retweet something that you think's crazy, you have to say something,
Say
or else
something,
people
yeah.
think you're endorsing it." And she was
Right.
like, "Oh," so in my head, I kind of thought she like didn't really know how Twitter worked,
Right.
But she like didn't have a lot of followers, so I was like, "Oh, okay, like let's just
cares?
write it into the show," or I don't know, crazy,
So crazy.
crazy.
But you were not, in the end, you're just not really shocked, probably?
I wasn't shocked because I had gone when we were doing the boy in a dress stuff. We had Glad come in to talk to her about, sort of how transgender, and she kind of didn't really know how transgender or the like most up-to-date hip sort of take on it.
Right.
Like wasn't really on the right side of history around it. And we're like, let's just put it into the show. And Sarah Gilbert plays the mom, and she's, a lesbian. She knows all this stuff. Like we're going to be, she'll make sure that everything's, that Roseanne understands and with the kid on set. But you know what? I'm sorry. To answer your question, I was surprised. If it had been like a transphobic thing, or like, because she's very into the Israel, if it had been about that, or like the Nazi cookies thing was a little bit like, she's Jewish and it's obviously offensive, but like I can see why she thought it was funny.
Right.
Like I understand. So I would never do it. And I think that was a really bad choice that she made, and wasn't funny, but I understand why she thinks it was okay to tweet.
Mm-hmm.
But this, I am shocked. I have to say, I'm still shocked.
Do you think ABC, though, like, they're the ones who shut the show down? Like, was there another avenue in hindsight than to have all those people lose their jobs?
Yeah, I think that the PR people should have shut her Twitter down ages ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, it was a problem for a while, but it was kind of like,
Such a bummer.
but it was like, she was like retweeting shit about like brainwashing and MK Ultra and like.
Yeah, no, it's stuff. It's obviously she's
like
fishing
conspiracy
for
theories.
some, yes.
But also it's like, you have to understand, like, and I'm not breaking news here, but like she's admitted to being mentally ill.
Right.
She'd admitted it before. So I
Right.
think there was a lot of people were like, oh, people know that she's Roseanne,
Yeah.
and they're not taking it seriously. But then when she started getting more influence and the show did 25 million viewers and was like huge, it was like a lot of these people don't know that. They just assume if Roseanne tweets it, it must be true.
Right.
So then it started becoming like a poisonous, really irresponsible thing, because she's then now has 1 million followers and people are actually listening to her again, and they think that what she's saying is true because
Yeah.
it's on a computer, and nothing that's on the computer would be fake,
Yeah. Do you think, like, that... Do you feel like...
This is the first time I've really talked about this, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, it's going to get me in trouble. Yeah.
No, it's not going to get you in trouble.
Maybe.
Why?
Or not.
You're such a... I think you're a leader.
Really?
Yeah.
That's very nice. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think that you could... You don't get...
No,
I
I
don't
have a
think you could
direction.
get in trouble. I think you decide what kind of figure out the parameters. And I think sometimes it's... Like, how does someone even be a conservative in, like, I'll tell you this, like, I got to Hollywood, like, I always came to Hollywood because I wanted to, like, I didn't like some of the things I saw in my neighborhood,
Yeah.
Like, I didn't like there was a lot of racism from black kids
Yeah.
and white kids, I
Yeah.
mean, I would get,
Yeah.
and I would get in it. So I was like, I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here where people can't see past themselves,
Yeah, yeah.
I got to get out of here where people are on third generation welfare recipients and they don't want to do anything. I got to get
Yeah.
out of here where somebody thinks just because they're dumb
Yeah.
that they want to keep their kid out of school too, so that the kid doesn't surpass them in education,
Yeah.
so that they still feel like the dad,
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
just all this shit. Like
Yeah.
some of this I got to get away from.
Yeah.
But then I get to Los Angeles and it's like, there's not even a Southern accent on television. It's like
Really?
Reba was it.
That's so interesting.
There's nobody
Heart
to
of
represent.
Dixie?
But I mean, how it's
That's true. See, well, that is also part of the reason that I.
like. So you know how angry. So just let me
That's
finish.
fascinating,
So
sorry.
how angry I get when then wealthy celebrity people tell me a direction that I need to vote or some things that I need to believe in
I get it.
when they don't even fucking have anybody to represent where I'm from.
That's fascinating.
It made literally to me, honestly, it made my whole, like all the fucking work and stuff that I did to get through Hollywood and to navigate, it made it feel like I didn't exist.
Wow.
And and that kind of stuff hurt my feelings, And I'm not trying to tell you that I haven't really, thought about this. I didn't know I was going to feel so viscerally about it, but
That's
so I think a
really
lot of people
interesting.
feel that way. And I notice a lot of people,
I think a lot of people feel very unseen by Hollywood as well, and very dismissed. And Hillary, that basket of deplorables, it was fucking over. Like as soon as we're maligning you know, I mean, I'm not a political analyst, so obviously don't quote me on that. But it was like,
And
now
we
we're
aren't on
calling
this
them
show either, right?
Yeah, we're calling them stupid. We're calling them backwards.
That's what I felt like.
And it's like, no, these people are fucking, they, you know, working their asses off and just want to be seen and heard. And I think that that's part of why I want to be, you know, involved in Roseanne so badly, because I wanted, you know, marginalized people. It's not even marginalized. This is what's the majority of people to be represented.
A growing majority.
On television, so that they felt like, okay, I exist. Now I don't have to vote in a way, you know, that I feel like I exist.
Right.
You know, by this guy, the only guy that sees me, the guy that fucking went to Wisconsin, you know, the guy who was actually like, you know.
Yeah.
You know, so I was hoping that would reverse the exact thing that you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't the South, it was, you know, Lanford, but that's super interesting. I've never thought about
rural.
that
And here's the
before.
thing about myself. I don't feel like I'm not a redneck. Like
Yeah.
I don't associate with any of that shit.
Yeah.
I didn't have a bass boat. You know, my mother would occasionally listen to Willie Nelson at night by herself, you know, but we didn't have any of that. Like we weren't hunting. I wasn't doing all that.
Yeah.
But I just felt like a rural white kid. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And
What shows did you watch growing up?
I watched Roseanne.
Wow, that's it.
Dude, we watched Roseanne. We watched, and then we
It's
watched.
also, by the way, you realize, and like I'm sorry to cut you off.
No,
like,
it's okay.
I go nuts when I'm making a TV show with the set designers. Like when and the costume people, like when someone's character is trying to get a job or unemployed, they put him in like Dior suits, and I'm like, this is so, or just the set design in general. Two Broke Girls, I'm actually really proud of it. It was these girls that
Yeah,
were
it's
broke.
nice. The set
We
was fun.
actually made a set that looked like that's where someone making $300 a week would live. We didn't put them in a mansion.
It reminded me of the diner that Roseanne and them worked in whenever.
Oh, yes,
it
the
actually very
lunchbox.
much reminded me of that.
Oh, cool. A lot of it was inspired by Roseanne.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were really trying to get that right. You know, so it's like, also don't put a show on TV about low income people and make it look like a goddamn gala.
Yeah.
You know, and have them in, it just feels fake and false.
Well, a lot of television I notice as a viewer, it's too clear these days.
Yeah.
And it's too tight in. It's like it
Say that again a different way.
it's too clear. And I've heard tons of people talk about this. It's too clear.
Like clear, like visually.
Visually, yeah. I
'cause
can't
of high
believe
def
it.
TV?
Yeah, I can't believe it if
know.
it's so clear.
Which is interesting now that high def. I was at someone's house the other day and they were showing like some commercial.
Who, a rich person?
It was not a rich person. Oh,
Sounds
it was
like it
David
was.
Spade. I'm wrong. He was right. He's right.
Who actually I got to talk to on the phone the other day for the first time.
the best.
Who just talked me into being in Bad Baby's music video. You know that girl, Cash Me Outside?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I think you should do it.
How do I get that gig? I promise I won't
just had
take
the
drugs.
gig 2 days ago, and it was absolutely bizarre.
Was it amazing?
It was so bizarre. But let's finish this conversation.
Okay, is she the next Cardi B? I don't know if I can
The
handle it.
funniest thing was, Spade goes,
I don't
look,
think-
she's the new Madonna. Well, I'll be working for her in 10 years. I was like, yeah, she's the new Laura Ingalls Wilder. But I want to finish this
Upset.
conversation, man, because
Okay.
this is interesting, and I think it is important.
I agree.
Yeah.
No, and I was thinking about it like, you know, someone asked me, I was doing like a Q&A, like for a book. I wrote a book.
And what it's called?
It's called I'm Fine and Other Lies. It came out the same day as the Vegas shooting.
Okay.
Didn't do a lot of press, obviously. You cannot promote anything anymore because the way the news cycle goes, you can't, like, literally the Vegas shooting happened that morning. I can't go on the Today Show and be like, guys, my 20s was really hard. I have advice for you.
But honestly, in some of like your key search words, SEO search words, did you put Vegas shooting in your search words
I don't even know what you're saying
for
right
any
now.
advertisements?
What is? I don't
It's
even
like,
know
say
about
if
that.
somebody's gonna look up Vegas
That
shooting.
I come up,
no,
I'm good.
That on the side somewhere, like a possible advertisement.
If you like
for
Vegas
your
shooting,
book.
you might also like Whitney's self-help book. Vegas shooting. Did you mean Whitney Cummings?
Yeah, and that was my joke, and I'll take responsibility for that. We're not making fun of the Vegas shooting, dude.
No, but I just mean like
Yeah.
you can't, like, it's just everything's so horrific now that it's like hard to, you know. But
Right, anything, yeah.
You would argue we need to laugh more than ever and whatever by my book. I said it.
Yeah.
But no, I was at a Q&A, and when you do a book Q&A, people ask like super, you know, interesting questions. And someone asked me, why aren't there any right-wing political comedians? Why isn't there a right-wing Bill Maher? I mean, I guess Sean Hannity.
Well, there can't be these days.
But why doesn't the right have one? I mean, there's the blue-collar comedy guys. I don't think they really talk about
Well, you
politics
won't work.
anywhere. Even though there's an audience, you won't work?
Oh, well, here's what I was.
You can't get an agent, or the clubs won't book you?
Yeah, well, you can't work in Hollywood. No one's even going to talk to you.
But
You couldn't say, like, look what even just like.
I don't disagree. I
Right.
hadn't thought it through. And
But imagine that. Like, imagine if you are conservative.
If you're a
and you end
pro-Trump
up here,
comedian,
right?
there are people out there who
But
will
not
buy your
pro-Trump.
stuff.
You could have voted for somebody and also not be really
You
give a
can-
fuck about them.
Right, but why are there no? Is this somebody? Why are there no
No, that's
right-wing
Basim
political
Youssef,
comedians?
isn't it?
It's
There's
Nick
another
DiPaolo.
guy who's
Nick
Nick
DiPaolo?
DiPaolo. He's gotten super right wing though, and I think that it's hurt him, right?
And then there's also he kind of went off over the deep end, but Owen Benjamin.
Ugh, yeah.
Yeah, Owen's too far out there. Owen's just looking. Owen's kind of like.
Well, I think
he seems like Roseanne's son a little bit, but out in the woods.
No, but isn't he like a men's rights activist or a white power activist or something? I'm probably spreading rumors, but
No, it's gotten a little bit bizarre.
he's also like trashing comics. Like, get out of here.
Yeah, it's just gotten. I think some of it's gotten a little bit some desperation that happens when you aren't here.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
say this: like I was
Out in
so
the
nervous.
woods.
Like I've felt intimidated to be where I'm from by this industry.
I bet.
I've felt, and that's scary. What the fuck is
That's
that? Like,
fascinating.
And here's the
like,
thing,
you
and
feel
also
like people look down on you.
yeah, and like I don't know. But then you know what's funny is, as soon as like I started getting fans in the past 2 months, all these agents sneaking up on me,
course.
slip me their cards. Money isn't loyal. I'll say that to you.
But
Whatever
that's
you're
what
out
I'll
there,
say. No
money
one gives,
isn't loyal.
No one gives a shit. So it's like that's what I'm saying.
But they
It's like,
do though. They won't even take a meeting with you if you say you have.
But if you start a podcast like what you're doing right here,
Right.
where you're from, and
Right.
you're talking about, even if you're making fun of Trump, but if you're conservative and you get the kind of numbers, an agent's going to represent you
Yeah.
if it's going to put money in the bank.
Right. That's the thing. Money isn't loyal, and that's why I think how many people do you think? Or Blake Shelton must have gotten every offer in the world in the past 6 months for people trying to connect with the other audience
Wow, I
and
bet.
reaching out. Can you
He's the best.
imagine the millions of dollars?
But
yeah.
he's not. But is he super
he's the
conservative?
closest thing-
or he's just country? This
But-
guy must be.
Well, I'm sure that's what Hollywood thinks. They don't know. They
Yeah.
have no avenues.
Yeah.
What's their avenue even into these
They're
people?
like, where's Brad Paisley?
Yeah.
He wears a cowboy hat.
They're so alienated, I'm sure. But yeah, you feel so
I know, and like
alienated
Last
you
Man
get here.
Standing is coming back. I heard.
It
Is
is?
that what it's called? The Tim Allen show.
Good
I
for
remember
him.
doing the Tim Allen.
Good for him. Guy even fucking thinks about,
Well, two things about Tim Allen. First of all, I opened for him like 7 or 8 years ago at the Laugh
Really?
Factory. He was doing something, and I went on stage. And I was bombing, and I like didn't know why, because I was like, that should have gone better. Like at the Laugh Factory, you do well, and it was all trucker hats. And then he went on stage, and he was doing tons of like pro gun stuff.
Oh,
and I was like,
wow.
oh, that's like his.
It was a different audience.
But he leans into that,
Right.
You know. And I was like, I'm an empowered woman, and everyone was like, we're good,
Right.
But yeah, he leans into that in his stand up. And also, I live in Tim Allen's old house. Not like a recent one, like before Home Improvement. It's
You're
not
a
like some
ghost.
crazy man. It's not like some crazy mansion. It's I love it. It's 4 bedrooms. It's like it's got land. I have dogs, and I see him one day at Starbucks, and I said,
wow.
"Hey, man!" And at the time we had shows, and we were shooting next to each
Hey
other.
man, the handle on that one toilet's kind of loose. You know, how do you deal with that?
I said to him, I was like, "Hey, this is so weird, but I live in your old house." And he was like, "Oh, the one on Ridgely." I was like, "No, not that one. The one on Mars." Like he's had
Right.
50 fucking houses, and I was like, "No, back." Like when you were doing pilot season, like that house, the house that you were like memorizing lines in. And I was like, "Oh no, up on I'm not gonna say my address, thank you." But I was like, this house 3633, and he was like, "Oh God, that place is such a shithole." I was like, motherfucker, that's my house. Fuck you. Okay, like it's my dream home. Like for me, it's a mansion. I love it. He's like, is the pool still overflowing into the living room? And I was like, what?
Yeah.
No one told me that shit in inspections.
You're like, I have to pay extra for that now.
And then, he builds houses, so he had done a bunch of work on it. And then I had this. Have you ever done family constellation work? No, it's this thing where basically this person figures out like what you were talking
Is it a
about.
new church?
Genetics or no, I'm good. It's like the offshoot of Scientology. It's cheaper, discounted. And they figure out like what epigenetics from your ancestors you're carrying in your genes and in your DNA. Because when we have trauma happen to us, it encodes into our DNA and it expresses itself through us.
Okay.
So like if you show a baby a picture of a spider, it'll freak out, even though it's never actually seen a spider.
Wow, because it's built into their grandparents saw a spider and it
That's
fucking...
exactly right. And that's what used to kill babies,
Right.
is bug bites and stuff.
Or their father got scared during arachnophobia.
That's right. It's in the movie.
Yeah, it's John Goodman.
Or like
Pure imagination.
And then,
full circle here.
was he in that movie, John Goodman?
Yeah, wasn't he?
Really? And then
Arachnophobia.
like, if you have a mouse smell, they did this study where they had a mouse smell cherry blossoms, and every time they'd smell the cherry blossom, they'd electrocute it. And the offspring of the
God.
mouse, when it smelled cherry blossom, it would get scared and run away. It's like an evolutionary thing that we do.
Yeah.
So
That makes sense, huh?
Why am I talking? Oh, so she figures out like what happened in your past and like all this stuff. And I learned a bunch of crazy stuff about my ancestors and stuff that they did. And it's so linked to what I'm doing today. It's super interesting. But anyway, she also was like, there's something wrong with this house. Like
About your home.
Yeah, there's like bad energy in this house. I'm like, it was Tim Allen. She's like, okay.
Tim Allen and apparently some rappers flooded the pool in
Like
the living
some
room.
of his like ancestors' ghosts are like in my house.
But yeah, it definitely seems like there's no, like I wish they made a Hollywood that's for everybody.
People love, like Ron White's been around. Like I don't even know what he
Right,
talks about on
right.
stage anymore, but I'm sure he's
Right. So there's some people I think
because
they're-
when they do, they have planes.
Right, I agree.
And
But
I
these
worked-
days you can't even. Well, first of all, half of it you couldn't say that. Yeah, you couldn't say I voted for Donald Trump and work out here. You know, you just couldn't say it.
No.
You
Roseanne could, and then she just couldn't.
Right,
shut
and
her
she
mouth.
could, yeah. Well, and there's something else about Roseanne. If you even go back and look, like at grabbing the crotch, spitting, there's this thing to, you know, not only to pinch,
Yeah.
but then to fucking turn. Like there's two types of people that pinch you. There's the fucking person that pinches you, and then there's that motherfucker, and sometimes
Yeah.
they're Italian.
Yeah.
And they fucking pinch you and they turn it.
But here's what I think. I think Roseanne, and I don't totally get this because I think that as comics we all want to be loved. You know, ultimately we just want attention and love and acceptance.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know. There are some people, from what I understand, that like need their outsides to match their insides. Like they can't receive love. you
Yeah.
know?
Oh, 100%.
And then when they start receiving love, they have to fuck it up. I've done that in relationships before. When a guy
yeah.
loves me too, like I gotta fuck it up or make him hate me somehow because
Yeah.
that's like my equilibrium. Like otherwise, I'm just always waiting for the other shoe to drop, and it makes me super anxious when things are going too well. Because think about it, the 2 times that she sabotaged herself with her racist shit is first was the day the numbers came out, 25 million viewers. She fired off that Nazi tweet. She retweeted the Parkland survivors were actors, like just totally
Right.
self-sabotage.
Not all of them were. Go on.
My argument about that is like I've auditioned child actors. If there were any actors that were that good, they'd be on shows. We'd have them.
Yeah.
Like they said, Ann Coulter said that about the kids in cages at the border. Like if an actor could cry on cue at 5, it would have 9 Oscars. What are you talking about? And by the way, you realize that child actors have fucking stage moms with them at all times. Like they can only work 4 hours at a time every 6 days. They have to have like a tutor. It's a nightmare.
And it's hard to keep powder on somebody's cheeks with the bullets going off in the distance, you know?
Like, what are you talking about? And so, but then the racist tweet she sent was the day the writer's room started on season 2. It's like anytime love starts to creep in, it's like, gotta just like cut it off.
Right.
You know?
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, anytime like there's, yeah. And I think that goes back to something where she's not sure of what's going on with herself, and she doesn't.
And look, I'm not going to defend it because it's like there's a certain point where like you got to get help. We all do.
And it's just silly. It's like you have this many, like fucking no Twitter for you. You know, no Twitter for you. First of all, the only people that are on Twitter are just rats.
But you
Most of the
have
comedians are on
to-
there sharing like some stuff.
You
but
have to surround yourself with people that call you on your shit.
Right.
And and she's scared so many people away. And people are so scared of her that it's like she
it's
doesn't
like
have
Chelsea
anyone.
Handler kind of,
Oh, I don't know.
but in like a different way.
Oh, really?
But so what about this though? Like, and also then for Hollywood's like, well, we have to be so diverse. But then I remember weren't African Americans and black people begging to get Academy Awards like 2 years ago
I had
and
this
Oscars?
crazy shit where
Like, what the fuck? Like, it's like suddenly you're the most diverse thing in the world when, you know, and I don't know, sometimes it's just so like,
yeah.
and it's like people are like, fuck Donald Trump, that guy's a piece of shit. But then the head mogul of the Hollywood is a fucking, this guy's coming in fucking pottery.
Who?
You know?
Who?
Weinstein.
Who's
that
the
guy's,
head of? The fuck Trump stuff is so ridiculous.
so many people have alienated their audiences by that because it's also hacky. Like, I don't want the dude to fail because he runs our country right
it's
now.
also, what are you? It's like going up at the Tonys and saying "fuck Trump." Talk about preaching to the choir. Like no one who voted for him is gonna be like, he makes a good point.
Yeah.
Like what? You're just because you know that
It's a safe space to do it, and it's all just fucked up,
and
man.
it's like
And I
just
hate
like
politics.
it's stooping and it's not flying high at all, and it doesn't
Right.
move the needle, and it does. It
Doesn't.
actually victimizes him. Because I was actually talking to Ron Funches.
Yeah.
He kind of blew my mind the other day because he said
Such a sweet guy.
Yeah, because we were talking about, remember Jimmy Fallon got so much shit for you know, ruffling his and being nice to Trump, and everyone said that they like that appearance humanized him, and of course it's not Jimmy Fallon's fault. Like, we were all doing it, you know, we were all making jokes about him. I did the Trump roast and was like, and what we were kind of doing is making him a victim and making everyone go, oh, Hollywood beats up on him. We don't like Hollywood because it's a bunch of pretentious rich people that can't relate to us. They don't give a shit about us. So we're on his side, and he became the underdog.
Oh, I think I believe that 100%.
Videos. We were constantly making fun of him, and Ron was like, yeah, I feel bad. He made like a Funny or Die video based on his book. We were all doing his roast. Like, we thought we were taking him down, but we were actually kind of building him up, and we didn't know it.
Right. Oh, I feel bad. I mean, I bet if you look back, I don't know what Trump's life is like, you know, but I mean, half of Hollywood was friends with him, you know, until the night he won or whatever. But it's like, so it's all just seemed like, so I think people are a lot smarter than people give them credit for.
Do you
think
people can be fans of comics who they don't agree with politically? I don't know why I'm even asking that.
No, this is a good question. Do I think that people can be fans of comics that they don't agree with politically? Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Because I know that I am.
Yeah. Because right now it's gotten so intense. Like, you know, I was reading this thing about, like, if you want someone to agree with you, you have to empathize with them first, because we are wired to, like, so if I say to you, hey, Theo, what's the fastest way to get back to Studio City? I think it's the 405.
Right.
And if you say to me, it's not the 405, it's Sepulveda.
Right.
I'm going to actually believe more strongly that it's the 405. There's that woman, Maria Popova. I, again, wrote about it in my book, quoted her. I put the study in there because I'm so fascinated by this. So if you want someone to agree with you, you have to empathize with them first.
Wow.
That's what the FBI does to get secrets out of killers and stuff.
Right.
So if I say, I think 405 is the fastest. If you go, Whitney, I know why you would think that. I used to think that. But now I took Sepulveda, and it's so much faster. Like, as long as you empathize with me, I have to feel seen by you first.
Right.
Or else
Oh yeah, I drove that a ton of times, and I would feel that way a lot. And then one day I went with someone, and they showed me this way. You might, if you try that, it's different, and they have a great place to get a fucking coconut water. And
Thank you so much, Theo.
Yeah, and you'd probably look pretty driving on that street, you know.
Thank you.
Or funny and pretty and funny, or just funny, or empowered.
But like, you see, what do I say? Please don't put me on Me Too.
I'm just gonna fucking kill myself.
Have you changed your behavior since all this? I went to the Comedy Store the other day, and I can't remember what comic it was. I actually do, but I'm not going to tell you. He came to hug me, and then he went, "Oh, sorry, we can't do that anymore." And I was just like, "Oh, Jesus, don't make me." Well,
you don't seem like that. I think there's some cunty women that you could be around, and there's just like their whole thing is based on that.
Who, really?
Oh, I think so. Like, I'll be at some parties, and it's just like, come on. Like, because here's the thing, outside of Los Angeles, everybody's pretty much doing things okay, it feels like.
Yeah.
It's just when you get here.
Well, because there's so much power and money here, and
there's
the
so much
system.
Power and money.
Yeah.
And all the politics, all the articles, all the publications are liberally. So there's no even, that was the biggest thing about like out of the gate, I remember when Trump was running, I was like, this dude's going to fucking win. Out of the gate. I was like, this dude's going to fucking win.
Well, here's what I'll say.
Because I knew, because I'm a person that I was sitting there and I could listen to him. I didn't think he's a cool person. I've always hated politicians, dude. All of them are egomaniacs.
Well, authenticity, I mean, just became the new cool thing. Like, I remember before, like when Ben Carson, was that his name? Was still
Sleepy Black. That's what I called him.
Really?
Oh, because he just fell asleep all the time, dude. Yeah.
I'm Sleepy White though.
Oh, dude, yeah, you are.
But like when it was like, you know, it was like a bunch of people and he was debating them. I remember the sound was off. There was no thought in my mind that Trump would ever win, because that's just too ludicrous, right? And I watched him, and he called every one of the candidates out, the Republican candidates running against him, and he went, "You've asked me for money, and you've asked me for money, and you've asked," and something happened where it was like a primal instinct where I was like, "Yep, I like that guy. If there's a fire, I'm following him."
Right.
Just like a primordial instinct of like, that's the alpha.
Right.
And I think we like fearless
that's
people.
The alpha.
So when he's lying, I don't think anyone gives a shit that he's lying. His base doesn't care.
Well, all politicians lie, so we're so used to it by now.
But he's so flagrant about it, it just translates to them as fearless. Like, he doesn't give a fuck. Good for him. I'm fucking with that guy. He's not scared of anything. That's what it translates into our amygdala.
Like, if the building's on fire, these people are going to be fucking trying to figure out what to do.
They're so sorry. Is this my fault? This is your fault. Oh no, you know whose fault this was? Like some pre-scripted shit. He's just like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And so I kind of on some level understand from like a reptile brain why that was appealing.
Right. And that's different America. Like, there's different Americas. I never before in my life have I felt like there's two different Americas. Yeah. Like, there's an America where like having a gun in Beverly Hills, dude, fuck no. Don't sell me a gun. I don't want to see a gun.
Yeah.
But if I go back to like maybe some of the neighborhoods I grew up in or some of the areas I was around, dude, if I'm riding through New Orleans and somebody says, man, the rental car company, we can put a gun under your seat for an extra $70 a day.
Is that a thing?
I'll be like, no, but I'll be like, put that thing under the fucking seat. I've had two of my black friends murdered in New Orleans in the past 20 years, right? Like, just like some places are just, but here.
By guns. But do you think they
guns.
wouldn't have died if they had guns of their own? Someone would have died.
Right, somebody would have died.
What if,
for sure,
what if they
still.
got murdered by the gun under their seat at the rental car place?
Right, but out of my fear, like here, no way,
but
I would never
guns
say have a
defeat
gun.
Guns?
Oh no, I wish they could.
Do you think less people will die if more people have guns? That logic is so crazy to me.
No, but I think that I think one day Elon Musk is going to put a gun magnet in the sky and they're all going to go right up there and just zoom to it and we'll be cured.
Kind of amazing, but it'll
I think it could
lift up
happen.
cars also.
Well, fuck it. Sometimes you got to. Hey, dude, look, just select Toyotas and some of them need to go. Okay, but here's the thing. But I could understand how people there say, "Oh, I need to have my gun." You know, as opposed to because it's scary.
Yeah.
I remember living in a place with my sister, man, and I had a gun, and I didn't even tell my sister that I had it, and I would not have slept without it because it was just too.
Do you have dogs?
Because I felt like I had to protect her. Yeah, she had a dog, but the dog had mental health issues. I mean, my whole family's in recovery.
Walk me through that.
So, I mean, this boy Leonard, he stayed under the bed forever, dude. I mean, he just.
Yeah, that's
he could
because
still
we're not
be under
guns.
there. That's true. But here's the thing: what I say is, here, I would never even think of having a gun. It would be weird if somebody did.
Yeah.
It'd be bizarre if somebody showed me a gun.
But
in other places, it doesn't. People live in two different worlds. Like here, diversity, sure, it's comfortable. It's comfortable. People are educated more. There's different levels of interaction.
Yeah.
Dude, the places that I grew up in or other places, it's a different fucking world. It's not the same.
Well, it's also our brain changes when we are in scarcity or fear. So the less money you have, the more fear you have, and then you start objectifying
That's a good point.
and maligning people as enemies.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
So the stakes get way higher.
It's
if you're
so
in Beverly
true.
Hills, everyone's got money. No one's going to try to steal from you.
Right.
You know, but when you get to a place where there's limited resources.
Oh, yeah, and then people are stealing. And suddenly the first person that stole from you, if they were a different color skin or they look different
I'm
than you.
racist all of a sudden.
Yes. Then you're
I
all
mean,
of a sudden
I had
racist. It's fucked up, man.
Yeah.
Some of it is so fucked up. But I think the solution is for me, it seems like how our education system, how we don't teach kids how to accept other kids or how to, like, spelling. I don't give a fuck if a kid can spell. A computer can do that now. Like, I care if my son knows how to accept somebody else or recognize if their friend is, like, hurting. Like, things like that seem so...
Should we go back to the fact that you don't care if your kid can spell?
Important. Yeah, I don't really
I just don't want to graze past that and I feel like we should spend some more time on that. It's super important that your kids can spell.
Okay, that's true.
Okay, can we just...
Okay.
Did that land on you?
Yeah, it really
I don't want to
did.
let that
It did,
slide
it
by.
did.
Okay. I just feel like...
Yeah, if he can't spell, he's definitely going to be communicating with guns.
Is it bad? Yeah, okay, so just
Yeah.
I feel like just you can't throw that around and expect it to just slide. I understand why it's funny,
it's true.
but on some real shit, like that's not okay.
That's not okay, yeah. You're right.
I'm glad we have that.
You're right. But yeah, I didn't mean to get into that kind of stuff. I did feel
it's important.
alienated by Hollywood. I felt like...
I get it.
Because I felt like I'd
I
spent so much time and I'm not allowed here.
I think that you have to, like, it's interesting because it's like also most people don't know they know the major celebrities. So they say that if you're a huge fan, what's your favorite show?
My favorite
Two Broke
show,
Girls.
probably Two Broke Girls, which is in syndication now, right?
Yeah.
And Dateline too.
No, so what's your favorite show? Just give me any TV show.
Oh, my favorite show probably right now is I like Ozark, I guess.
Great, Ozark. So Ozark is your favorite show. On average, if someone has a favorite show, they watch 3 episodes.
Wow.
Correct. So that's a huge fan of a show.
So that's
3.
a hit.
Yeah. So most people don't even know who's on their favorite show, when it's on, where it's on. Most people don't know half the celebrities that we think are famous that we're jealous of on Instagram. Most people
Don't even have an idea.
it's not even on their radar.
Right.
So it's like, oh, these Hollywood people that are representing all this elitist shit. It's like most people don't even know who these people are,
Right.
much less give a shit about what they think.
Right.
So it's like they say that with the exit polling on all of this stuff, we were so off because the exit polling companies didn't call homes with landlines.
Right.
They didn't even call landlines. They only call people with cell phones, and that
Yeah.
in itself is elitist because there's some people that don't even have cell phones.
Oh, yeah.
We just pretended they didn't exist.
Yeah.
You know, so
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like that's how fucking far off we are. We did focus groups for Roseanne because I was so worried that like a bunch of rich white people in a room writing for people with limited resources was just going to come off insane. And we did focus group testing with a bunch of women, and what we thought was important to them was so fucking off.
Wow.
We were so wrong. Literally, like, they asked a question. They were like, so do you feed your kids organic? Like, do you try to buy organic food for your kids? And they were like,
real food?
They were like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, we were crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, no time for that. None. And actually, race, like, I don't know. I don't have statistics on this, but it's also like race. Everyone had interracial families and relationships and
Right.
stuff. It was like there was actually way less racism.
Beige power, that's my motto.
You know,
because it's all gonna we're headed to
Taupe
beige.
power.
We're headed quickly to beige, you know.
Sure.
And so that's where I'm trying to be at the finish line. I mean, I think everybody's just gonna be so diverse soon. But yeah, it's just wild. I felt like, man, all these people writing these articles, they're all from New York or LA, and they don't know. Sometimes I think
who
it's
do you feel seen by? Is there anyone that like
people.
just-
Listeners.
ju-
First thing, honestly, the listeners from the podcast a little bit. Oh, other comedians.
you don't feel seen
I
or
mean,
heard by them that are listening to you that just downloaded your thing?
No,
You're
I
gonna
feel
talk
seen
to
and
them
heard
like
by
that?
them, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Just recently, like, people have started to, like, seem interested in my comedy, I guess.
Yeah.
So I don't know who I feel seen or heard by. For the first time in my life, I think I start to feel a little bit by myself.
Yeah.
You know, which is kind of comforting.
Did you feel like when you came to Hollywood, you had to kind of like change yourself at all?
Oh, yeah. I think I pretended like I was there were times where I pretended like I was a redneck, where I felt like that's the only thing I could
Well, you were like,
be.
I got to lean into who I am so strongly to be unique, like on
Yes.
some Mencia shit. Like,
Oh,
pretend you're-
sarcasm. My whole
Yeah.
first special, it's all sarcasm. The whole thing is a sarcasm.
Yeah.
It's like a sarcasm. It's like
Yeah.
a
Well, our first specials are always just like, oh, it's like someone filming us losing our virginity or something. Like, there's no way. Someone sent me a clip of my first special. I'm literally just screaming.
Yeah, mine too.
I'm screaming jokes at these innocent people who just were trying to see a comedy show. I'm like, bah! I'm wearing bright pink lipstick because I just didn't know who I was yet. And I was like, this will make, I had bought a shirt online. There was a bedazzled t-shirt because I was so afraid of looking too fancy.
Oh, wow.
And then I was afraid of looking too,
Oh, damn.
I wanted to like appeal, but it had like rhinestones on it. So it's like,
Oh, my
it's like
God,
the
dude.
lights are hitting it. I knew nothing about how anything worked. I was wearing bell bottoms and New Balances with Velcro. I was so lost as a person.
God, that Cialis flaring up again because
And
this
I-
reminds me of a lot of girls I grew up around.
And then I waited till the clapping finished to start my next joke because I didn't understand that I had a microphone that could talk over the clapping.
Oh, wow.
So I look like such a fucking narcissist. Like I look like a dictator. I'm just like waiting for everyone to finish clapping and then it gets quiet. And I'm like, now I'll start my next joke. Like I look like I'm milking the laughs when I just didn't realize I could talk simultaneously.
But
like,
imagine how powerful that probably made you seem in hindsight. I bet. Like,
Really?
she's so in control.
I think I look crazy.
She waits till they're done laughing.
I also like was so afraid of getting heckled back then that I'd be like, rush through my jokes so fast. Like
Yeah.
I just didn't understand. I actually had got really good advice from Pauly Shore right before I shot my first special. He called me and he was like, do one taping and do the jokes like you've never done them before. Like change the inflection, change a word, change the order, something like to keep it because by the time
Oh yeah, so fucking.
by the time
iron.
you type your or shoot your special, it's all typed up and you know what you're doing and you're kind of just going through the motions and phoning it in, but it like lacks like a little bit of heartbeat and soul. And he told me to do that, and I was like, I can't change it. I'm filming it. Like this is, and it really made a difference.
Yeah.
So it would have been even worse had he not called me.
Yeah, he's a special guy, Paulie, huh? You
I mean,
forget how you don't forget, but he has the wheeze. He has this kind of ambiance.
Yeah.
He's such a smart guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually really kind of amazing. Like when people try to make fun of him, it's like if you just watch his act, he's making fun of himself. It's really
Yeah.
hard to make fun of someone who self-deprecates. You
Right.
know, like at Mitzi Shore's funeral, he was being so funny.
Yeah, I was there. It was so
Yeah,
good.
yeah, it was just
Oh
like
my
great.
god, he's like, so Argus fucked my
It was like,
mom.
so all these people fucked my mom. Like, it was just like,
Jimmy Schubert's like, I didn't.
yeah, it was just like great. Like,
It's interesting.
I don't
No,
know.
I think you're such a powerful woman. I think you call all the shots. It seems like
in what sense?
I don't know.
So I don't see that at all. I
You
feel like
don't?
Instagram models are crushing me. I see people that like make jewelry that have 17 million followers. I'm like, what
That's
are you gonna
true.
do? It's like I feel like Instagram just changed the game. Like
Right.
there's girls that take pictures of their yogurt every morning. And
Oh, like
they're-
Bad Baby, dude. I was hanging out with Bad Baby the other day.
Oh, that's
yeah.
She was
Cash
an
Me
asshole
Outside.
to her mom,
Yeah.
and now she's a millionaire.
Dude, that's the new, yeah.
So notoriety is the new fame. So I guess I feel like I finally had figured out how to do this business, and then it just fucking changed overnight. And I was like, I'm now Like, I have no clue how it works.
Wow.
Yeah.
If there were another like business that you got into, like, because you know, like, do you think there would be something else, kind of like, or a world that you get into? I mean, I know you love animals and stuff like that, but do you think there would be?
I just love
another
animals
world?
because people think I'm such a crazy like animal. I am, but there's such a sense of justice with animals, you know, and there's not always in our world. So there's just something really comforting about the predictability and sort of like, you know, being able to reason with something. You can reason with an animal much more clearly than you can with a human.
Yeah.
Because animals don't know how to lie.
Yeah.
And they don't care what you do for a living.
Yeah.
It's like I literally just hang out with animals because they're not like, so what are you working on?
Yeah.
Like I just like it's 2 hours where no one's asking me like, why did your show get canceled? Like it's just like a nice respite.
So many people love you. That's one thing about you.
Really?
I noticed. Yeah.
Oh, that's
so many
nice.
people say like.
That's nice. Have no idea how I'm perceived, and I always think everybody doesn't like me, then that's my shit. But it is nice to hear that sometimes. It's nice to tell people how they're perceived.
Yeah, yeah. At least some, I think, to make them feel, even if it just is to make them feel okay. But no, I think people always like speak like admirably of you.
But you know what's interesting? It's like ask me if a fake comic is funny, not a real name.
Okay, is Lawrence Arabia funny?
Lawrence Arabia is the nicest guy.
Yeah.
So it's like when people respond about your character, like that's why it's like people to me, like sometimes I'll see people in the hallway or something or comics be like, God, you work so hard. I'm like, that's just like a weird compliment.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you really hustle. Like I remember like I used to come off stage in the beginning and people were like, you are a great writer.
Yeah.
I'm like, but not performer? Like I always find the insult in any compliment, you know, but it's just like I love just picking apart people's backhanded compliments because comics are so good at figuring out a way to compliment you without,
right.
You know what I mean?
And it's not even, it's almost a natural thing.
Because comics can't say people are funny if they're not. They can't. They refuse.
Yeah.
Even if they are funny, they're reluctant to do it.
Right.
So that's why if you ever ask someone if someone's funny and they don't think so, they'll be like, super nice guy. Works really hard. Yeah. Just sign with ICM.
Yeah.
Like anything. Oh, the guy that drives the Jeep? Yeah. Love that guy. Super nice.
Yeah, Aries.
Yeah, real chatty. Aries. Chinese zodiac dog.
No,
I love, by the way, backhanded compliments when you come off stage. Those are my favorite things.
Oh yeah.
Like when you come off stage and someone's like, weird crowd. Yeah. And you're like, I thought it went pretty well.
Oh yeah.
Or before you go on, they're like, great crowd. Oh, yeah. So whatever you do has nothing to do with you. It's just the crowd's great. Yeah. So funny.
It's so weird how we feel like comics, no matter what, like we feel like we have to communicate something to people.
On stage?
I think almost at all times in a weird way. It's
That's
like
true.
we can't let a moment pass where there's an opportunity
so
to communicate.
That is so fucking
and that's
true.
almost fucking exhausting at a point.
That is so true. It's very exhausting, and I feel like I owe something to everyone all the time, even though no one's interested. I'm like, hey man, what do you buy? I'm like, I'm at Trader Joe's. Please back off.
No one's interested sounds like the best name for a special.
No one's interested. Everyone's so obsessed with themselves now.
Yeah.
That's what I used to get recognized so much more. Like it's weird. I was like, am I not? Does no one care? Like, but everyone's their own celebrity now.
Yeah, we're starting to cherish ourselves. I was
Who is this, by the way?
This is Chris Farley.
Oh, I couldn't see from this angle.
People sometimes, yeah. First of all, it's not Donald Trump. It's
I
not
know. I
me.
saw this, and I was
it looks like me.
Way
when I
to
was
bury
fat.
the lead. If you have a huge Donald Trump portrait, could you have given
Not
me
at all. I wouldn't have that in
that.
here.
You should give that to Spade.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. Maybe he'll come one day. And
yeah, you should.
But yeah, it was so crazy. He called me the other day. I called him. I got his number from the director's. Like, call Spade. He just did it with Bad Baby, you know. Mm-hmm. And next thing you know, I was talking to him, and he's like one of my idols. I thought Joe Dirt was a documentary, dude, when I first saw it when I was young.
So funny.
So I remember thinking it was like all about orphans and people getting left at the Grand Canyon and shit.
Yeah.
And so when I first saw him, I was like, dude, how many orphans reached out to you after you did that movie?
I've actually not seen it.
And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like, about kids getting left behind by their parents. He's like, none. Nobody thought that was a documentary. Like, oh, that's crazy. You haven't seen it, Joe Dirt?
No, I've never seen Joe Dirt.
Man, I'd watch it.
I know. It feels like a weird thing to watch for the first time now.
I'd watch you watch that, I think.
Like, where would I even... Like, can you reopen a Blockbuster?
So,
can you guys restart your company so I can get a Joe Dirt? What is it called? GPS? VHS? VHS.
Yeah. Jeep. I'm not sure.
But yeah,
VHS.
Spade is the great. Like, he's just such a nice dude.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard the story about when his assistant tried to kill him? Oh, you got to look that up.
It's good.
I think he told the whole story on Howard Stern. Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah, it's fucking harrowing and amazing.
Yeah.
And it's like, I remember hearing that story and being like, do I really want to like do this?
Yeah.
Like get.
Oh, I see. Get this level of popularity.
I'm not as like I'm not Spade. I'm
Right.
not, so he's so famous and he's a movie star, you know.
Yeah.
But I just remember going like, what are we trying to get? Why do we
Right.
think fame is going to fix everything?
Yeah.
When your assistant tries to kill you, it just makes you rethink like,
Yeah.
what are we doing? I was talking.
He's
to
the
somebody.
pale Selena. That's what I
There
feel like
was a-
David Spade is, kind of a little bit.
I was just Googling the woman that killed Selena. She died in prison, apparently. I'm
crazy,
obsessed
huh?
with that case. And I'm obsessed with the Jennifer Lopez.
I could see you playing a taller Selena, kind of.
Really? No, you can't.
I maybe could in Russia. In Russia,
The
on
Ukraine.
stage. Yeah, in Ukraine on stage.
Serena.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's my Russian accent. I feel like that 10 on PM just hit a new level
love
in my
this.
brain. No, I forgot. Oh, did you ever hear Bill Murray on Howard talk about fame? Because he hates fame so much. And he said, try getting rich and see if you still need to be famous. Is that interesting?
Right, get rich first and then
That's
see if you
right.
still need to be famous.
He said, he's like, I tried so hard my whole life to get famous when I realized I really just wanted to be rich.
Wow.
I didn't want to be famous. Because you can be famous and not rich.
Right. Because
You
you
know?
can be rich and you're free from some things, but with fame, you're not free. Fame is this
Ever.
old
Money
other
is
crazy
freedom.
imprisonment.
Fame is entrapment. It's the
Yeah.
opposite. You know, and I just thought that was so interesting. And a friend of mine wrote an article on that. I'm going to mispronounce it. SZA. That's the female rapper. SZA. Is that how you pronounce it? SZA. She did an article. My friend that I went to college with is Lizzie Goodman. She wrote that book, Meet Me in the Bathroom. She's an amazing music journalist. And she was talking to some manager who was saying something about how trying to get famous is a mental illness. I don't know which one.
Right.
All of them, you know. But there's something so bizarre.
Oh, I could see that. I could see
There's
that.
something so bizarre about it.
Right, and then, it's so funny. I asked myself, like, just recently, like, been selling out shows and like
Yeah.
selling out like weekends, and it's just been kind of crazy. I haven't had that experience before.
amazing.
And it's kind of like,
But when you're stand up, you get to see humans and you get to see them laugh at you. You get to meet them. You get to take pictures with them. But to be famous and removed from the people
that's
who like you,
so scary.
it's bizarre. I want you to all know who I am. Give me your money, but I'm going to hide behind this fortress and you never get to actually see me.
Yeah.
We're actually out in the trenches, like
Right.
meeting the people that like us, you know?
That's why I think we're the pioneer. I think right now there's no better time to be a comedian. People say it's harder. You can't say this. You can't say that. I think that people are so desperate right now for anybody to seem just to say what they really fucking mean.
Yeah,
you know?
authenticity, I think is
everybody's on fucking drugs. Everybody's on some kind of drug. Everybody's scared of how they look. Everybody's,
and who says you can't say anything now? I mean, that you can.
Right.
Just be smart about it.
Yeah.
So that you're bulletproof.
Right. Right. But it's tough because here's the problem is what if you say something and it's just sometimes if we just get down to what the exact 3 or 4 words people say
Yeah.
and then we have no conversation,
Yeah.
Like I liken it back to 16 and Pregnant or whatever that show was when they had 70 kids living in the house, the Christian family. or
Right.
whatever it was.
The
And one of them
Goslings?
touched somebody. There was a rumor that there was something that happened. One of them, like when they were 15, touched like one of his sisters or something, 14 or something. And they shut the show down. And I'm like, there's first of all, there's 17 kids in a house.
Yeah.
You can't fucking touch a light switch without hitting a fucking clitoris in the
pussy?
distance. Yeah. Something.
Incorrect.
Okay, sorry. But you can't probably, it's hard to open a window without accidentally brushing the back of somebody's neck.
Clitoris in the distance.
Okay? So, like, very hard to do.
Yeah.
But that's when they shut the show down, that's when I thought, this is when we can learn so much.
We're in the middle of a mass shaming.
Because now you know how many people out there have been touched accidentally by somebody in their family. Like, I remember being
But wait,
young.
how do you know it's an accident?
Or, they...
If a kid got molested, the show should go away. They should stop getting money.
Okay. So
Someone's got to go to jail.
Right, so then that's what it came down to was money. But I think the family figured it out. But it was
Yeah.
like, that's when
But families cover shit up all the time.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
That's why kids get molested, because
guess
people
that's
lie
true.
and hide things. We do have to get to a point as a society that we're not making pedophiles and rapists millionaires.
I agree.
It's just not necessary.
Yeah.
There's too many good
Yeah,
people
I
out
agree.
there.
I guess it should have been like, I want to hear this conversation, like what happened here. That's when I want to see the
But
show.
it's also putting children on television is already child abuse. What
Yeah.
they're doing is already abusive to the kids.
I agree.
You know what I mean? So it's like that show's got to go regardless.
Yeah, it's not good for kids.
Yeah.
It doesn't end. I mean,
They don't have,
statistically.
it's not consensual. They don't have any consent in that. So to me,
No.
the kind of person who puts their infants on television, of course they're doing other creepy, gross shit. Like that's a judgment issue. That's someone that doesn't have good judgment. And if shady shit is going on,
Yeah.
which it does in most girls are molested at some point in their lives.
Yeah.
Like, I don't believe that they will handle it responsibly because they also objectify their kids by putting them on television.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's like what's to say that the families is then going to hold up their side of things.
And I guess for me,
and do
like
it
all this stuff,
responsibly.
everybody
I hadn't
being
thought about
so
that.
freaked out about all this shit. It's just like, why is it such a big loss for you to lose the bad people? There's so many good people out there. Give them the money. Give
Yeah.
them the show.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's just about like, I don't want to say draining the swamp. I feel like that's a Trump slogan now, but it's really just like cleaning house.
Yeah.
Like the rotten apples just got to go.
Change is good. I think change it, sometimes it comes in forms that we don't
But
know.
it's not even change, it's progress.
Right.
I think it's actual progress.
But it's hard to have one, I feel like, without sometimes having it's hard. Sometimes you have to have something to.
yeah, like babies going out with the bathwater, you mean?
Yeah.
Literally, that's what that show should be called. Babies in dirty bathwater.
17 kids and counting. Can we play one question that came in from her, Nick? And no, this is just, we put on our
How shiny am
Instagram
I?
feed yesterday that you would be in studio.
Hey guys, Nash from Cincinnati, Ohio.
You started over, Nick?
Yeah.
Sorry, what's his name? Nash? I love that I'm squishing around this. Like, I don't think I can just do that.
Well,
I know. I'm dumb. I'm really ditzy about basic shit. I told you that.
All right.
Hi.
Hey guys, Nash from Cincinnati, Ohio. I just want to know, Whitney, what do you think of the mullet? Because I think that shit is in, bro.
that's funny. I haven't heard
love
any
it.
of this.
I love it.
Thank
I
you.
love your haircut. I'm
you.
such a fan.
I like your hair.
It is so really?
Yeah.
It is so good with your face.
Oh, thank you.
I love it. And it's such a powerful, it is just so it works and it is so
It's gender neutral, you know that.
yes and no. Yes and no. But because the only reason it's not is on a woman, she'd be unfuckable because of our social constructs. And on a guy, it's like, not only does it look good on you and is it completely super flattering, it's also like, this guy gives no fucks. This is some alpha shit.
Yeah.
It's very alpha.
Once I started growing my hair, first of all, because people were like, oh, people don't like gay people where you're from. And I was like, we've been wearing women's haircuts since I was a fucking kid. Okay? You cannot imagine.
We've been cross-dressing forever.
Dude, you know how many
now.
lesbians I fucking sat next to and got my hair cut? Growing up? Countless, dude. At least
amazing.
9.
That's amazing. Yeah, I'm not totally sure how it comes together, like
There's no plan.
What
There's
the
nothing.
pomade situation is, if anything. Like I'm so curious if there's like a dry shampoo or is there an LA Looks
dry
gel?
shampoo.
Is this like a hot oil? Is there a
It might be a
tea?
VO5
Is there
thing.
a glue gun involved? I'm just not sure.
Oh, it's all, but the back is all done at Michael's Crafts.
There is. There is a very mysterious process involved in it. Like, can people touch it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's petable, dude. And so many fucking raccoons come out when I'm out outside my yard. I'm not even joking, dude. So
They're like,
many.
Dad?
Oh, yeah. What about that one creepy raccoon that's always in the recycling bin? Who the fuck is that?
It's a green
Get your
raccoon.
kid.
Yeah.
What about one more of the audio calls that came in, Nick? That was good. We'll do one more, Whitney, and then we'll say thank you so much for your time.
Hey Theo, this question is for Whitney.
Hi.
If she could hook up with one current comedy store comedian, a regular,
Say Joe
who would
Diaz.
that be? And
Just
why?
to have sex with, or
And
to?
that is all.
Is this to have sex
Thank you
with?
very much.
Oh, thank
Have
you,
a
sir.
lovely show.
Love you.
Whoa, dude.
Hey, Theo.
Quit stalking her, first of all.
Or continue stalking me. Add to cart. Download my shit. I don't give a fuck.
Joey Diaz maybe would be good.
I love Joey Diaz. Is this just to have sex with, or is this to like marry?
I don't know. So I think
What
you
does
can make
hook
it your
up
own
with
thing.
even mean anymore?
I think these days it just means at least
How
look into
old
the
am
eyes.
I that hook up to me means like the one I want to marry? Fuck out of here. So sad. How sad is that? I don't do that. I was with.
That's so funny.
I like.
I don't even know if that's
And I'm
believable,
literally
but
like,
it's
who
played so well.
seems like they have a good credit score. I love Joey Diaz. That feels so weird because it feels like incest to me. Like comics to me feel
Right.
so platonic.
So say even a platonic husbandship that you had to be in with someone with.
Oh God, this is gonna get me in trouble. I feel it. Brian Callen.
Wow.
Joking. I mean, Brian makes me laugh. Brian.
Oh
definitely
yeah, Brian makes me laugh. He
Yeah.
just has this gift. It's almost like
Yeah.
you ever seen Tinkerbell? Like it's like Tinkerbell's like inside of him. Like how Robin Hood has Tinkerbell.
Well, you know what it is? It's like so
Is it
much.
Robin Hood?
Oh yeah, yeah. Or the like
Peter Pan.
Yeah, that's on their shoulder.
Yeah, he's just
kinda
always like,
thing.
yeah. He's always ready to, like, he doesn't even fucking sleep.
It's like, yeah.
He just hides behind a piece of ice all night.
He's like a jester.
Yes.
You know, he's like, I think that a big part of being a comic, by the way, I did have a self-tanner fiasco, so I'm worried people are looking at my hand.
Nobody can see us.
You're like, this isn't recording, you fucking idiot. I think such a big part of being a stand-up is making the audience feel like they're safe with you.
Right.
Right? Like
Right.
they're in good hands.
Right.
You know, and when you trip up or you're like looking at your notes, all of a sudden they're like, uh-oh. Like this person might not know what they're doing. They might not be in control.
Yes.
Or like they might have a sense of doubt. Like
Right.
that's when you start giving the audience power.
Yeah.
That's why when people are like, oh, you guys don't think that's funny, whatever. I'm always like, don't do that because then you're giving them power.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the curtain has been pulled away and they're in charge.
Yeah.
And you work for them now, right? And Callan, when you're around Callan, you're just like, I know I'm not gonna have to do any work right
Yeah.
now. He's just gonna
Yes. fucking
do gymnastics. He's planking.
Yeah.
His dick's out.
He's
like
planking.
it's he's doing pull-ups. Like
Yeah.
he's. I know that I can just sit on the bench.
Yeah, his dick's out, but it's doing Romeo and Juliet.
I remember-
like he's such a fucking unique
He's
character.
English. He's doing an impression of a bird. He's hanging from the ceiling. He's Spider-Man.
Oh, now he's an endangered
scaling a
species.
wall. Yeah, I'm like, I just don't have to do shit right now. It's like I just get to go on a vacation. I don't have
that.
to even have a conversation because he's gonna do some fucking vagina monologue.
Yeah, that's
he's
true.
doing like I just have to do. It's just so I could live with someone like that where I feel like
Me too.
I'm just being served.
Me too. I could be in a platonic 3-way marriage with you and Brian Callen.
Who would you date? Have you ever dated a comic?
I don't know. Schumer and I dated for a little bit.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she and I did it right before a movie came out, and it wasn't. I don't know. Between us, honestly, I just didn't. It didn't. She didn't leave me. I just didn't. I didn't end up trusting her. Like she always like wanted me.
Were you a boyfriend and girlfriend exclusive?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. I felt like I just was like, at a certain point, I felt like it was a little bit of like a puppet, kind of just like a little sex puppet, you know. At a certain.
Isn't that
point.
like every guy's dream?
But it wasn't my dream.
Oh.
You know, kind of. I don't think.
How did it
But
end?
she used like this. Or she didn't use. But we talked about like this bigger idea, like this bigger kind of thing. You know. So.
Of what? Being together in a bigger way?
Yeah, and she would like bring it up some. It was like maybe 3 or 4 months, you know. But we'd always been sweet on each other for a long time. Like we'd been like sweet on each other for like a decade.
Aw.
Because we did a show for Comedy Central together a long time ago.
Oh, the one with Bert?
Yep,
Oh,
me, Bert,
yeah.
Tiffany Haddish.
Yeah, I remember
her.
that. I just remember that show because I remember one day Bert Kreischer showed up at the Improv or something and he was like sweating and he was all red. And I was like, yo, what's going on, homie? He's like, I just drank 2 bottles of soy sauce. I was like, what show is this?
That's so Bert. Yeah, it's still so Bert. Yeah. I mean, he switched condiments, but same Bert.
Like, I just drank 2 bottles. It was
I just dipped a whole can of wasabi. Yeah, dude.
It was just like, wait a second. He's like, no, the show wrapped 6 months ago. I just do it now. It's just kind of my thing. That's my Cialis.
Yeah, I just EpiPen myself right in the nuts.
Okay, so you've dated comics for real.
Not a bunch, really, though. She was really only it.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, it just wasn't, I don't know. She's a little more emotionally efficient than I am.
Say that again in a different way.
She's more emotionally efficient
What does
than
that
I
mean?
am. Like,
Emotions are inherently not efficient, right?
Right. For me, they're not. You know,
Yeah.
for me, it's more of like a,
You mean she can navigate them more easily than you?
no,
or
she just like,
knows what she wants?
knows what she wants to, but to the point where for my speed, it wasn't a comfortable speed.
Understanding.
Yeah.
I'm understanding.
It was just.
I'm
too-
such a robot. I just went understanding.
Yeah.
That's like what a robot would say. Understanding, processing. Scary. But like, does the idea of dating so you're not intimidated by a woman who does comedy? I think a lot of guys don't love it.
No, I'm not. I think though, I wonder like when it gets to like the sense of like having a family and kids and like more of like having a motherly environment be around.
Yeah. You want
like,
someone that's gonna be home when you're out.
well, I don't want somebody with that fucking, that Siberian womb.
But you know what? Does that mean old?
No, it just means kind of
Cold?
brisk. Yeah. Definitely brisk,
But
like people hiking in the distance,
But
pictures
you know
from far
that
away,
there's
sleigh dogs. Like I don't want, I want.
the epidemic of dating someone who, after you break up, becomes a comedian, or during their relationship with you decides they want to start comedy is rampant.
Yeah.
I dated 2 guys like 2 years ago that after we
Really?
broke up, all of a sudden they're like, at Flappers.
No way.
It's like, what? Yes.
No way.
Correct. Yes.
Do you think you have that
I know, and I know,
mic pussy?
and I know a lot
You
of
think you do? Do you think you have that?
the guy's name was Mike. That's weird.
No way.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Oh my God! If that would have That's
No,
too
but like
much.
also, and I know a lot of guys who are dating girls, and I don't know if it's chicken or egg. I don't know if they start dating me because they want to be comics and they want to learn how to do it, or if halfway through I somehow make it look so fucking easy that they're like, I can do that. Like, I don't know, but I know a lot of guys who date girls and halfway through they're like, I think I want to start comedy.
Do you think that they feel like if they're not funny enough or they're not in that world that you're not going to want to be with them?
No, I think they just genuinely see that, like, how, you know, they're like, oh, she just goes 20 minutes a night.
Yeah.
This and makes money. Like, this shouldn't be, this doesn't look hard. She can do it, I can fucking do it. Or it's my fault. I blame myself because I think I learned early on you have to laugh at a guy's jokes, even if you don't think they're funny.
Yeah.
Because I'm always trying to make sure,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, that I'm not
Make somebody okay.
So guys would be corny and I'm like, you're hilarious. So I probably enabled it.
Yeah.
You're like, well, if Whitney thinks I'm funny, I must.
Yeah, do that thing where you juggle
And
your
now I'm
farts
like
again.
getting bumped by my ex at fucking Haha Cafe. Like, god damn it.
I love how cafe is at the end of it. It's people just getting molested in the back. And then suddenly they got lattes.
Like a Parisian cafe.
so
like,
Persian.
what?
That's so Persian. Did you ever date any comedy? You said you didn't.
I haven't dated any comics.
But you're starting them. You're starting them.
Yeah, I'm like a manager. I'm a developmental executive at this point. I'm just a talent.
Yeah, your vagina's just claiming 10% from all these guys. But yeah, who knows? I don't know. I think there is something extremely attractive about somebody that can make you laugh.
I think, but it's also for me, like, it's just like, don't shit where you eat. And like, it's already so hard to do stand up. The only thing that would make it worse if you had to like run into your ex.
Oh, yeah.
In the belly room.
Ugh.
Like working on new material.
Yeah.
Or like having your ex be like, so I'm fucking this girl last night. And you're just like, why did I do this to
bet
myself?
it wasn't that good.
Yeah, like, ugh. Were you ever there when Gary Goldman and April Macy got in a huge fight at Westwood Brew Co. when he was on stage? I think that's when I was like, I'm never dating a comic, fucking ever. And I love April. I love.
Oh, yeah, I love her.
I think she's hilarious.
Me too. Her story about her mom and stuff is so
She's
good.
just, but he's really funny too. I just haven't seen a lot of him lately.
I've never seen Gary before.
You've never seen Gary Goldman in
I'm
person?
a fan. No, I've never seen him in
What?
person. Yeah.
This motherfucker does 40 minutes on sugar cookies. You're like, how is he coming up with it? Like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
He did like an hour on orange juice.
That's
like,
crazy.
How do you write jokes about that? Like how if you brush your teeth and then
he's-
drink orange juice?
Yeah.
Like
He's a beautiful, he's like Jimmy Schubert a little bit.
But it's
Jimmy's
it's
that.
like this weird art, and he's like 6'4" and like a linebacker body, like, and he does jokes about like fucking Slim Jims, and you're just like,
Yeah.
how is it? So he's like, anyway, so I was at Westwood Brew Co. one night. I can't believe you weren't there. This was 10
all the shitty nights I was there, and the one
and
good
that's
night.
the one where you miss. And he was on stage, and there were like two people in the audience. And April Macy was like, wait, I don't know how it happened, but she was like screaming at him on stage. It was fucking incredible. And he's like, fuck you. Like, it was amazing. But I was like, I'm never dating a comic. That's what it's going to turn into. Can you imagine? The only thing worse than fighting with your boyfriend or girlfriend is doing it in front of college kids and other comics at 1 a.m. on a Tuesday.
And they don't know either one of you. They're like, well, these fuck-ups. Oh, these people are fucking? At least let us watch that.
And they're in their 40s. Like, just like, what the fuck?
Oh, my
like,
God.
what a nightmare.
We're going to hell. I think we're going to hell. That's what I'm most scared of.
I think April's dating someone. They're not together anymore. She's
no.
fine. Yeah,
No, we're going to hell.
Oh, we
Everybody.
are?
The whole group.
Oh, all comics?
Yeah.
Can you imagine, like, if I was in a fight with my ex and I was about to go on and, like, work on new material and then he fucking shows up with his girlfriend?
What great material you'd get out of it. Can you imagine that?
I would lose my fucking shit. Did you ever see when Mark Maron and Dove Davidoff got in a fight in the OR? While
They didn't date.
While Dove was while Dove was on stage, or while Mark was on stage, and then they got in a big fight. Yeah, that's the kind of shit where you're just like, you know what? This is worth it. Like, one day I'll be able to tell that story.
Yeah. I've had to listen to Mark, though. It's been hectic sometimes.
Yeah. I once yelled at Dove. Were you there the night I yelled at Dove at the
What would
Comedy
you yell
Store?
at Dove for?
Where have you been? I feel like we missed like 4 years.
I feel like we missed every fucking year. I feel like we never really have crossed that
you
much
weren't there the
paths.
night that I yelled at all the Comedy Store comics and told them to class it up.
That's such a Connecticut thing to say.
What does that even mean?
That's like
Okay,
somebody from France
I
would say.
lost my shit one night because it does take a toll on you. Like there were no female comics at the Comedy Store for so long, and it was like me and like 10 dudes, you know, and like I was in bad relationship after bad relationship, and I think I had maybe a guy I was with had cheated on. I think we had broken up, and he just like slept with someone like the next day or something, and I was angry anyway, and like
Class it up.
I didn't have the and I went in and I saw like someone was there and talking about brought a girl that. A different girl from the night before. Like, I don't think I'd done anything wrong, but I just snapped. Like, it triggered me. And, like, I have all sorts of, like...
At Westwood Bruco?
No,
What
but this is the
store?
Comedy Store in the parking lot. And I was like, you need to class it up. Everyone needs to class it up around here. Like, I snapped. Like,
Oh my
I was talking to my dad,
Yeah.
but I had to take it out on, you know, the fucking OR hallway. Everybody I screamed at. Everyone
It's
was there.
just Doc out there in the parking lot.
Like, he's just like, what are you
Well, you can't
talking
park here.
about? Yeah, bitch. Like, I park your car.
What did they
every night.
say? So how was the fallout
I
from
think
that?
they learned I think they understood that it was like my shit and that it was taking a toll on me to see these single guys every night living the way they live, which is like no judgment. I think it was starting to like just wear on me. I think it was part of the reason I also leave so fast because I'm like, I don't want to see
you're out.
cheating. I don't want to see any of that shit.
Do you feel like you want to see guys be better than they are? I get
I don't
that
have
from
any
you
judgment.
sometimes.
Like if you're not raping anybody, like if you're cheating, that's your business. That's between you and your wife. That's not cheating's not illegal.
Right.
Like if you're my friend and I think you love your wife and I know you're gonna lose her, like that's a bummer. Maybe I'll say something if you have kids. But now, like, and if you're famous, like you know,
It's risky.
there's a lot of people's jobs are at stake. You know, so. I'll feel bad, but it's not my business, you know? It's none of my business. But that night, I just lost it. Because I think that the problem is being around...
Class it up.
But also, guys think of me as, like, a bro. So guys are like, yo, I just smashed this chick last night. I'm just like, don't tell me, like... It really fucks up my paradigm of the world.
Right.
You know? It's not healthy for me to hear that all the time.
Yeah.
Because I have to go out and date guys.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear, like, how the sausage is...
Oh, it's
Yeah.
just spinning. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like Dove and Ahmed and
Oh,
they
yeah.
all Mike Young. I remember
Oh,
Mike.
that's a ladies' man, bro. That is a Bermuda Triangle. A vagina will go missing in between those three men. That is a Bermuda
I
Triangle.
remember like Mike Young walked in. And I was like, and you.
Mike fucking Young comes in.
And like, but he wasn't. I don't even.
And he's like, hey.
Like he was just the nicest guy.
course.
And then, but I remember, there was somebody. I think it was like Al Madrigal came in, and I was like, "You're fine.
Oh my God, you're fine.
You're good." Like it was just like,
Yeah. You sell shoes. Yeah.
you're cool with me. The rest of you, I literally was, I don't even want to raise my arm because I don't want to show my sweats. I was doing a helicopter. I was like, we need to class it up in the parking lot.
Like Petey Pablo.
It was
Unbelievable.
batshit crazy. I mean, no one has spoken of it since, and no one even has the audacity to like make fun of it or bring it up because it's just too dark.
The guano. It's going to be called the guano episode. Batshit crazy. That's what this is
It
all
was
gonna be.
batshit crazy. Those were the days of the store where it was like shit was so nuts.
Oh, it was crazy.
I remember I would go up at like 1 a.m. I learned a lot though. There was one time, this actually changed my life. I think it was around the same time actually. I was going through some shit, and we were in the audience at like 1 a.m. There was this woman in the audience, like 3 like black women in the back, and I was talking about like I was having a real moment. I would just go on stage and like read text messages to the audience, be like, should I respond to this guy? Like I was just like, it was.
Oh, anybody could be in there.
It was just
Yeah.
insane. I was going up at 1 a.m. It wasn't about comedy. I would just literally go up like.
Yeah. One person was a hat maker. That's who was on stage. I'm like, what?
Oh, do you remember there was a fight? Remember that time Byrne and Brett Ernst got in a fight in the audience? Someone charged Steve Byrne while he was on stage, and they fought the guy. And this was back before food. There was no food. There was no food. There was no audience. And when you used to walk on stage and you like trip over a chair,
Oh, yeah.
you'd come off stage and just fall. Like, it was so dangerous, emotionally, physically, all of it. There was no food. I don't think there was even drink. People just brought in brown paper bags full of fucking.
People were just saving spit in their
just
mouths.
like makers. Just like, what is this?
People were making water in the back.
It was insane. There was like there was no men and women's room. It was just one fucking bucket.
It was just people holding each other off of a back dock, just pissing into the lot.
It was a nightmare. And then one time I was on stage and bombing at 1 a.m. and I was like, you guys, this guy, like, he didn't call me back. What should I do? And this woman just went, bitch. She yelled at me. They had no respect for the comics. Bitch, silence is the only language men understand. I was like, yeah. Like, it was like a pep rally, really. It was like an inspirational, I don't know.
No, I love this.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
It's all crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, I'd love to talk to you again sometime.
Dark times.
So crazy.
I hope this wasn't too weird.
No, this was probably my second or third favorite episode, and we've only had 7 or 8 guests.
What?
So, well, the podcast has been going for a year and a half, but we just started having guests.
Oh, wow.
And so the podcast is just keeping growing, and then...
Why did you decide to start having guests?
I don't know why, because I wanted to talk to different people.
Yeah.
You know?
And
because people want to see different people's personalities interact, too. That's what I find the most.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
I feel like we got mellow, though. I feel like we're mellow together.
That's it.
Did you ever figure out that joke about the
Me and
soup
Dalia
from-
didn't have any laughs. We hung the whole time and
Really?
didn't laugh about anything. And people loved it.
Did you ever crack that joke about the suit from Spencer's Gifts? What?
Oh, wait, I forgot about that.
What?
When my dad bought me that Beetlejuice suit for that funeral.
With the knife in the back.
Oh, dude, my dad had to get me, I didn't tell Nick this. My dad had to get me a suit for a funeral, and it was like around Halloween or something, and my mom was out of town, so he bought me a fucking, like at a Rite Aid or something, got me like a Beetlejuice fucking suit, like costume, right?
Like, I remember, this is the first time we've like really talked since I've seen you in a while.
Yeah, and we laughed about that in the parking lot.
I was dying.
Yeah.
Like, what's that spider in your pocket?
I remember leaning down at the coffin, and it had a knife in the back of the fucking...
And the guy got murdered.
Yeah, and the guy... People were like risky moves.
I was fucking dying.
Oh my God, I'm so glad. You are a great joke writer.
You gotta make that up.
Because you just, that was
You gotta
such
make that a bit.
I did it one time and people laughed and I totally forgot about it.
Why would you forget? I love that fake burn holes. In this.
Oh yeah, definitely. It had a flower that squirted.
You raise your arms as cobwebs.
Yeah, one of the arms you raise and it would play the themes from Addams Family. Dun, 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 dun. I don't think we can top that.
That's my shit right there.
Whitney Cummings will put all your stuff at the top of the episode. But no, I think you're... Oh my God, dude. No, the purple one, you asshole. It was a funeral.
That looks like a jail costume, jail suit.
Yeah, that looks like...
Fuck, that shit is so funny to me.
That looks like the new... that's the new business suit, the Me Too business suit in Hollywood. Because you're going to fucking jail.
That's just what producers wear to hotel rooms now. Yeah, it has to be a funeral suit from Spencer. You turn around, there's like a skeleton on the back.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Yeah, you unzip it, it's a dead baby. Yeah. Like a hand comes out. You have to
bang.
You have to do that joke. I love that joke.
Man, I feel like we should just write something that's based for like we make a funny show.
Yeah, I'm always down.
Thank you so much, Whitney Cummings.
Thank you. Be nice to me in the comments. I don't know what your fans are like.
My fans are the nicest.
Okay,
usually,
that's good. You never know. Fighter and the Kid, Rogan.
Oh, those guys are. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Technically, I guess I'm clinically obese. That's what I learned from the Fighter. From the Fighter and the Kid fan, I learned that I'm obese. Yeah. That Ronda Rousey's gonna fight me. Like, I learned some shit about myself. I'm shiny. My face is very shiny. I learned.
I think you remind me of Jessica Biel a little bit. I don't think you look shiny.
Really?
Yeah. Like Jessica Biel, but also like one of the hottest dudes ever that was in a Shakespeare play.
A lot of guys played women, back then. That's fair. I'll take that. Thank you.
No, I appreciate you coming in. You're so
you know when you like have to pee that the podcast is over.
Oh, yeah. Oh wait, hold on. We have to give you this.
You come out of Rogan's.
This is our sponsor. Like, this is our sponsor, Ridge, and that's a really dope charger.
Oh, I actually need this.
And so there you go. Yep.
Oh.
And so, and they're really cool.
Oh wait, but it's this is good.
They have nice stuff. So
yeah, I actually do need this.
Good.
I'm gonna lose it if I take it out of the case.
Okay. Thank you so much, Whitney.
Now I'm just floating on the breeze, and I feel I'm falling like these leaves. I must be cornerstone. Oh, but when I reach that ground, I'll share this peace of mind I found. I can feel it in my bones, but it's gonna take a little time for me to set that parking brake and let myself